Chapter 302. Ziyuan. I recently opened a milk tea shop. It's currently under renovation, but I need some money. So, are you asking me to lend you money? Ning Ziyuan sneered. Yeah, I don't have many friends, but you've been nice to me, so I was wondering if you could lend me some since we used to be together, and I even had a miscarriage because of you. I'll definitely pay you back. Ever since I left the hospital, I haven't been able to find a job. You should know that Wu Xiaoxua banned me from the industry, and I can barely make a living now. He-Man looked at Ning Ziyuan with tears in her eyes, as if she had been wronged. Ning Ziyuan didn't have any feelings for He-Man. When they were together, it was just a vent in bed. However, any man wouldn't be able to stand a woman crying and complaining like this. Therefore, even though Ning Ziyuan was disgusted, he still asked, "How much do you need?" 50,000 is enough. I still have some money with me. He-Man's voice was very soft as she looked at Ning Ziyuan. I don't have that much money with me. My wife has it all. I only have 20,000 in my WeChat account. I'll transfer it all to you. Okay. Then, Ning Ziyuan added He-Man's WeChat account and transferred 23,800 to her. After He-Man confirmed that she had received the money, she smiled. Thank you, Yuan. I will definitely pay you back. No need. Take the money and don't come looking for me again. After speaking, Ning Ziyuan turned around and left. He-Man's eyes gradually turned cold. Ning Ziyuan, Wu Xiaoxiu, Huomin, none of you will have an easy time. Just wait and see. When Huomin got home, dinner was ready, but Qin Shu wasn't home yet. She took out her phone, leaned on the sofa, and chatted with Zhu Lingling on WeChat. Zhu Lingling sent a picture of her rich boyfriend, asking Huomin to comment. Huomin, you're so fierce. How would I dare to comment? Zhu Lingling, it's okay. Tell me the truth. I won't be angry. Huomin, all right, you're the one who asked me to say this. Your boyfriend's looks? He's a little low. He's way worse than Gao Ran. Zhu Lingling, why should I compare myself to Gao Ran? I don't think he's that handsome. Besides, I think it's safer to find someone who's uglier. At least they won't go out and fool around. Someone who's too handsome won't make me feel safe. After saying this, Zhu Lingling added, Of course, Mr. Qin is an exception. Huomin, I don't quite agree with what you said. I don't think that ugly people have a lower chance of cheating. Let me give you an example. Handsome people are never sure of admirers. When they seriously choose to be with someone, they are really together. But ugly people basically have no one who likes them. They will immediately sleep with whoever likes them. They choose to marry someone because they have no other choice, understand? Zhu Lingling, what kind of twisted logic is that? Huomin, sister, this isn't twisted logic. Let me give you another example. If a person has 100 yuan and can afford Coke, Sprite, and mineral water, but he likes mineral water, then it must be true. But if a person only has 2 yuan and can only afford mineral water, would you believe him if he said he likes mineral water? Give him a bottle of Coke, and he'll enjoy it more than anyone else. It's not that ugly men don't cheat. It's just that they don't have the chance. Once they have the chance, they will do everything they can to prove that they are attractive. Once they have the chance, they will do everything they can to prove that they are attractive. Zhu Lingling. Oh my God. Miss Hua, I'm so impressed by your twisted logic. You've really brainwashed me and enlightened me. Huomin, think about it. Don't you think it makes sense? Zhu Lingling. You're right, but not everyone is as lucky as you. Not everyone is as lucky as you to have such a good man by your side when you were young. Qin Shu's good looks are rare in the world, but just because you're lucky doesn't mean others are. Huomin, I think Gao Ran is a good choice. He's handsome, has a good family background, and has a cool job. Chapter 303. Zhu Lingling, him? Forget it, I don't want him for free. Huomin, you're thinking too much. He won't give it to you for free. I just had dinner with Gao Ran yesterday, and he brought his girlfriend. She's pretty, petite, and slightly delicate. Zhu Lingling, huh? He has a girlfriend so soon? That's unbelievable. How could a girl like him with that wicked mouth of his? Huomin, you have such a vicious mouth, but don't you already have a boyfriend? You have to be kind. You can do whatever you want, but you can't do whatever you want. Zhu Lingling, then I have to hurry. I have to get married before Gao Ran gets married. or else he'll make fun of me. Huamin, Lingling, all these years, did you really not like Gao Ran at all? You two seemed to have a lot of fun when you were in school, but why didn't anything happen in the end? Zhu Lingling, Gao Ran doesn't have that kind of luck, humph. Huamin smiled and didn't say anything else. There was a story between Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling 7 years ago when she was with Qin Chu. As Qin Chu's best friend and Hua Min's best friend, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling naturally saw each other more often. Therefore, there was a subtle change in their relationship for a while, but for some reason, it was left unsettled. Neither of them mentioned it, so Huamin never asked. Now that she saw that Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran each had a boyfriend and a girlfriend, she felt quite sorry for them. Actually, she always thought that they were quite compatible. Bored, Huamin scrolled through his WeChat moments and found something interesting that Jixin posted. Therefore, he decisively reposted the post. It said that when a father first heard that his daughter has a boyfriend, he felt like a farmer whose hard-earned harvest of cabbage was eaten by a pig. When a father first heard that his son has a girlfriend, he felt like a pig that had been painstakingly raised for more than 20 years finally learned how to eat cabbage. There's also a picture of a piglet eating cabbage. Less than a minute after it was posted, there were several comments. Zhu Lingling, ha 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 ha, I'm dying of laughter. He's so talented. Jing Jixin, sis, next time before you copy my words, you have to give me a like first. Huang Yu, senior sister, you seem to be in a good mood recently. I rarely see you posting on your WeChat moments. Let's have dinner together some other day. Nurse Nan Nan from Southside. Head nurse, I didn't know you had such a funny side. Huamin scanned through the comments and found them to be quite interesting. Suddenly, another comment popped up. She clicked it open and immediately laughed out loud. Qin Chu commented below, so are you the cabbage or the pig? She immediately replied, bro, of course you're the pig, and I'm the cabbage. But I'm the good-looking one in our family, aren't I? Qin Chu proudly replied. So, why are you talking back to me like this? Do you want to kneel on a durian or a washboard tonight? Huamin rolled her eyes at him. As soon as she sent this sentence, Huamin heard the sound of a key unlocking the door. Huamin got up and ran over in her slippers. She reached out and stopped Qin Chu. I own this mountain. I planted these trees. If you want to cross this road, leave your money behind. Qin Chu elegantly took off his jacket and glanced at Huamin. I'm yours. You can do whatever you want with me. Huamin's face instantly turned red. Qin Chu was always taking advantage of her. Dinner is ready. I tried radish ball soup for the first time tonight. Why don't you try it? Lingling taught me how to make it. It's a dish passed down in her family. Every time I go to her house, and her dad makes it for us, I always think it's delicious. Then, Huamin brought out the dishes one by one meat dish, one vegetable dish, and one soup. It was simple, but the color was good. Qin Chu walked over to the dining table and sat down. He picked up the soup bowl and took a small sip. Huamin was slightly nervous. How is it? How is it? Qin Chu looked up at her. Do you want to tell me the truth? Chapter 304. If the truth is hurtful, you can lie to me once in a while. Qin Chu pursed his lips and laughed. What are you laughing at? Tell me how many points? It's my first time making it. Huamin urged anxiously. If it's a lie, then it's delicious. What about the truth? Huamin was a little worried. The truth is it's very, very delicious. Okay, you trick me, you scare me to death. Huamin was completely relieved after hearing Qin Chu's words. She tasted the soup when she made it and thought it was all right, although it wasn't as exquisite as Lingling's father's. However, it was still quite fresh. Qin Chu had always been very picky when it came to food, so she was afraid that he would say it tasted bad or something. However, her worries were completely unnecessary to Qin Chu. Even if Huamin made arsenic, he would still say, it's delicious, it's very delicious. For a man who was obsessed with his wife, what else could he possibly say that he wasn't satisfied with? After happily eating dinner, Qin Chu went into the kitchen to wash the dishes. Huamin was leisurely munching on an apple as he watched a music show. Inside the kitchen, Qin Chu's phone rang. He rinsed the foam off his hands and picked up the phone. Hello, boss. Someone has been investigating your current address and investigating you and Madam. They even went to your school to investigate what happened back then. What are they planning? Stop them. Yes, boss. After hanging up the phone, Qin Shu's eyes darkened. He didn't interfere much with Huomin's work at Southside, nor did he plant any spies there. When it came to his wife, he trusted her 120%. However, recently, there were people secretly investigating Huomin's address and what happened back at the school. This made him a little worried. The good thing was that Imperial Park was very private. When they bought it, they used Huomin's name. The real estate certificate had been tampered with by the Real Estate Bureau to hide it. Most people would not be able to find it. If someone wanted to follow Huomin, they could only stop here because he had already cleaned up the Imperial Park. At that time, it was to prevent his parents from causing trouble for Huomin. Now, it seemed that there were other people who were interested in Huomin's private affairs. Lord Qin, are you done yet? Come out and take a look. Milk tea is singing. Huomin's voice came from the living room. After Qin Shu tidied up the bowls and chopsticks, he walked out of the kitchen and sat beside Huomin. Milk tea Lu Ruoying's melodious voice was heard. Is the song nice? Huomin held Qin Shu's arm and asked intimately. It's nice. So you're here too. I've loved this song for many years. Every time I listen to it, my heart flutters. Huomin smiled. Qin Shu didn't say anything else. He let Huomin rest his head on his shoulder and enjoyed the time that belonged to the two of them. The truth was he didn't like milk tea songs, nor did he know who Lu Ruoying was. He only knew that as long as Huomin liked it, he would like it. If Huomin was happy, then he was happy too. Love the house, love the house. It was that simple. After Huomin took back his car, Qin Shu insisted on driving him to the fork in the road every day, even though he didn't need to drive him anymore. In the end, the two of them went their separate ways and went to work. Their days were busy but fulfilling. Imperial Star Headquarters. Su Yu rarely came to the headquarters to sit in his office. Most of the time, he gave orders over the phone or had video conferences. However, the miraculous thing was that Imperial Star was growing bigger and bigger. It was now a well-known media giant in China. Many overseas Chinese celebrities were attracted to Imperial Star, and their reputation in the industry was very good. President Su, I'm sorry. We still couldn't find the person you asked us to investigate, a young man in a suit said with his head lowered. Are you all useless? No, someone purposely blocked everything. This person has a very powerful background. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been unable to find anything even after using so many connections. Su Yu looked at the information in front of him, his face filled with anger. After investigating for almost half a month, they only found out that Huomin had a boyfriend in university named Ning Ziyuan. That person even got married a few days ago. What did this mean to Su Yu? I want to investigate her current boyfriend, not her ex-boyfriend. Do you understand? I understand. If you understand, then why aren't you going to investigate? Do you want me to teach you? Su Yu was speechless. It took him so long to investigate a woman for the first time, but he still couldn't find anything. Was Huomin too complicated? Chapter 305. Seductive Fox Nightclub. It was the biggest nightclub in the city and also the most expensive place for entertainment. Most of the guests were rich heirs and socialites from the upper class. Here, it was normal to spend hundreds of thousands in one night, so it wasn't surprising at all. Ever since Zhu Lingling got together with her rich boyfriend, Deng Kai, she often went out with him to have fun. However, Zhu Lingling didn't like Deng Kai's social circle. She thought it was too complicated and that the world of the rich wasn't as simple as the average person's. Most of the time, it was dirty beyond compare. The truth was, Zhu Lingling didn't like Deng Kai that much. She just thought that Deng Kai was generous and treated her well. Therefore, she thought that if they could continue dating, marriage wasn't out of the question. After Zhu Lingling got off work, she wanted to go to bed and rest, but Deng Kai called her 3 times in a row, asking her to come to Seductive Fox. When Zhu Lingling arrived, she only wore a simple black windbreaker, denim shorts, and black heels. As an air stewardess, she had the looks and the figure. This was also the reason why the rich second generation had taken a fancy to her. Lingling, come here. Deng Kai gestured for her to come over. Zhu Lingling walked over and sat down beside Deng Kai. Here, let me introduce you to Zhou Guangming, young Master Zhou, the heir of Tianfu Mining. Deng Kai introduced as he pointed at a man with a protruding mouth and monkey-like cheeks. Zhu Lingling nodded and greeted him, young Master Zhou. She was actually thinking, isn't he just the son of Coal Boss? Why is he being introduced so formally? Lingling, you're in luck today. Do you know who's coming? Deng Kai asked mysteriously. Zhu Lingling shook her head. I'm telling you, young Master Su is coming. Su Yu? Zhu Lingling was slightly surprised. That's right. Young Master Zhou and young Master Su know each other. It's young Master Zhou's birthday today, so he invited young Master Su and young Master Wei. Young Master Su and young Master Wei will all be here. You can post it on your WeChat moments. Haha, your friends will be so jealous. Deng Kai laughed maniacally. The truth was, as a rich heir, Deng Kai couldn't compare to Su Yu and Su. It was also his first time seeing Su Yu in person, so he was even more excited than Zhu Lingling. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Zhu Lingling was quite curious about Su Yu because there had always been rumors about this crown prince. Zhou Guangming stared at Zhu Lingling lecherously and said with a smile, You are indeed a stewardess. You are beautiful, your skin is white, and your legs are straight. Zhu Lingling wasn't used to such blatant praise. She smiled awkwardly and didn't say anything more. During this time, Zhou Guangming kept toasting them. Zhu Lingling could hold her liquor well. She drank 3 glasses in a row to give him face. Deng Kai was playing rock, paper, scissors with some friends and had completely forgotten about the existence of Zhu Lingling. She sat alone in a corner with her phone in her hand and sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Girl, I'm at Seductive Fox. Do you know who's coming? Who is it? Huamin didn't understand. Su Yu. I heard that Su Yu is coming. Haha, I'm so nervous. I'll secretly take a picture of you. It's okay. I'm not interested in Su Yu. Huamin saw Su Yu every day at the hospital, so naturally, he wasn't interested. Just then, Zhou Guangming suddenly came over with a glass of wine. Hey babe, let's play a game of dice. I don't know how to play. I can teach you. Zhou Guangming placed his large hand on Zhu Lingling's smooth thigh as he spoke. Zhu Lingling immediately stood up and smiled. Sorry, I need to use the washroom. Just as Zhu Lingling was about to leave the washroom, the door to the private room opened. Everyone in the private room stood up. Young Master Su. It was a grand scene. Zhu Lingling also looked towards the door curiously. Chapter 306. The man at the door was dressed in a cream-colored casual shirt with a deep V-neck. His chest muscles were faintly visible, making him look extremely sexy. Zhu Lingling was a fan of luxury goods, so she immediately recognized the brand he was wearing. It was a world-class luxury brand, Valentino. Moreover, it was a limited edition. This outfit must have cost at least a few 100,000 yuan. Zhu Lingling was completely speechless. In comparison, her boyfriend, Deng Kai, who was wearing an Armani that cost a few thousand yuan, was nothing. Then, Zhu Lingling took a closer look at the man's face. His eyes were neither big nor small, and his eyelids were double. There was a feminine beauty between his eyebrows. His lips were red, his teeth were white, and he was very good-looking. Was he the rumored hot-tempered prince, Su Yu? After Su Yu entered, Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, and other famous princes followed behind him. Along with them were 4 bodyguards in black suits. It was a grand scene. There were more than 20 people in the room, and when they saw Su Yu, it was as if they were seeing their own father. Some of them went to pour wine, while others went to light cigarettes. Zhou Guangming even put away his arrogance and went over to Su Yu, nodding and bowing. Young Master Su, it's my honor to have you here. Su Yu glanced around nonchalantly, as if he wasn't interested in anything. He wasn't familiar with Zhou Guangming, so he didn't need to give him face. The only reason he was here was because Zhou Guangming's brother-in-law, Shineo, was quite close to him. Zhou Guangming spent a lot of money and brought a few bottles of extremely expensive wine to Su Yu and Wei Liao. Zhu Lingling was dumbfounded in her excitement. She secretly took a photo and sent it to Huamin. Guess which one is Su Yu? The idiot in the white suit. Heroine, you have good eyes, Zhu Lingling exclaimed. Sis, so you stayed at our hospital for so long. Even if I was blind, I wouldn't mistake him for someone else. Okay, I didn't think that Su Yu was so good looking. He looks like a Korean celebrity. Oh my god, I'm going to be smitten with him. Save it. Su Yu isn't a good person. Don't have high hopes for him, Huamin advised. Haha, don't worry. I'll admire him from afar. A man like Su Yu isn't someone we can afford to offend. It's good that you know. Look at the time. You should go home early. Don't stay there too late. Huamian didn't think it was safe for girls to stay too late at night, so she tried to persuade Zhu Lingling to stay. Don't worry, my boyfriend and I will leave after a while, Zhu Lingling replied. Qin Shu was working overtime, so he was in a meeting in the neighboring city. After Huamin replied to Hua Min's WeChat message, he fell asleep again. Zhu Lingling thought that after celebrating young Master Zhou's birthday, she would be able to leave with Deng Kai. However, she didn't expect that what happened next would be beyond her imagination. Zhu Lingling could not tolerate the scale of his actions. The loud music was mixed with the screams of men and women. Most of the men had female partners with them. A few of them didn't, so they called a few hostesses to accompany them. It was a chaotic scene. Although Zhu Lingling loved to party and go to nightclubs, she knew what to do and what not to do. So, when she saw this scene, she subconsciously felt disgusted. She walked over and grabbed Deng Kai's hand. Just as she was about to tell him that they were leaving, she saw Zhou Guangming walk over. Deng Kai, what's wrong with your girl? Why isn't she taking off her top? Zhou Guangming stared at Zhu Lingling with a sly smile. Ah, she's a little shy. She's never done such a big thing before. Deng Kai laughed dryly. You'll get used to it. Let your stewardess girlfriend join in. Everyone can have fun. Chapter 307. Deng Kai turned his head to look at Zhu Lingling, as if asking for her opinion. Zhu Lingling immediately rejected him. No way, I won't do that. I can't play this kind of game. Deng Kai laughed dryly, looked at Zhou Guangming, and replied, She's petty. She came from a poor family, so she can't afford to play this game. Young Master Zhou, please don't lower yourself to her level. To be honest, this sentence made Zhu Lingling very unhappy, but she didn't say anything. She just thought that Deng Kai was giving Zhou Guangming a way out. Just then, Zhou Guangming walked over with a glass of wine, unwilling to give up. Really? But I'm a birthday boy today, so I'm the most important person here. If you don't want to take off your clothes, can you at least have a glass of wine? Deng Kai looked at Zhu Lingling with a pleading look in his eyes. Lingling, just have a glass. Zhu Lingling thought that everything would be fine after she drank this glass of wine. Plus, Deng Kai was here, so she should be fine. So, she took Zhou Guangming's wine without any warning and downed it in one gulp. She didn't notice the sinister smile on Zhou Guangming's face at all. Meanwhile, not far away, Su Yu was still chatting with Wei Liao. He didn't seem to care about anyone or anything in the room. After drinking the wine, Zhu Lingling felt a little dizzy. Her heart raced, and she realized that something was wrong. She immediately ran to the bathroom and tried to vomit. Just then, a woman walked into the bathroom to touch up her makeup. She smiled and said, Young Master Zhou, put something in your wine. Your boyfriend obviously wants to give you to Zhou Guangming to play with. Just admit defeat. There's no way you can escape. When Zhu Lingling heard the voice, she looked up and realized that the woman was Hua Yinyan. She had always known Hua Yinyan, and Hua Yinyan was no stranger to her. Because of Huamin, Zhu Lingling hated Hua Yinyan. Why are you here? She was surprised to see Hua Yinyan. Perhaps Zhu Lingling was too focused on Su Yu, so she didn't notice that Hua Yinyan was among the women in the private room. It was no wonder that she couldn't recognize her. Hua Yinyan was wearing smoky makeup tonight, and her eyes were as big as a panda's. It was scary. Moreover, the skirt she was wearing was also fluffy and colorful, just like a parrot that had become a spirit. Hua Yinyan didn't help them when they took off all their clothes. Instead, she went over to Su Yu to propose a toast. Su Yu obviously ignored her. She was drinking and playing dice with Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Wei Liao and the others didn't have a good impression of Hua Yinyan either, but because she was a member of the Hua family and Hua Xiqian's sister, they still gave her some face. Now that they saw Hu Yin, their hearts felt like jelly. Zhu Lingling tried her best to throw up, but she still felt dizzy. I never have anything to say to people like you. Move aside. Zhu Lingling pushed Hu Yin away and walked out in a daze. However, she accidentally overheard a conversation that made her heart turn cold. Zhou Guangming. Deng Kai, I like your girl. Let me play with her tonight. Deng Kai. Young Master Zhou, I don't think that's a good idea. I quite like her. Zhou Guangming. Women are like changing clothes. Don't be so stingy. I can let you play with mine too. You can have fun with her. She's Chinese and Russian. She has a hot body and is ridiculously skilled. Deng Kai. Young Master Zhou Guangming. Then it's a deal. When the effects of the drug kick in, I'll take her to the lounge next door for a round. Then, Zhou Guangming patted Deng Kai's shoulder. He actually didn't refuse. Zhu Lingling felt like her lungs were about to explode. Deng Kai usually looked like a man, but why was he acting like a coward here? He didn't even dare to talk back to Zhou Guangming. He even wanted to lend her to Zhou Guangming for a night. Motherfucker, I'm so angry. Zhu Lingling angrily rushed over and grabbed Deng Kai's collar. Are you even a fucking man? Chapter 308. Lingling, I can't afford to offend young Master Zhou. I'll have to trouble you for one night. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhu Lingling slapped Deng Kai's face. With a loud smack, Deng Kai's face turned red. Then, Zhu Lingling picked up her bag and prepared to leave. However, she was stopped by Zhou Guangming's men. What do you want? Beauty, you can't leave. I haven't had enough yet. Zhou Guangming smiled. Screw you, get out of my way. I want to go home. Zhu Lingling felt dizzy and wanted to leave as soon as possible. You're feisty, but that's what I like. You'll definitely feel good, Zhou Guangming said as he reached out and pinched Zhu Lingling's face. Zhu Lingling took a step back and almost fell to the ground. In a moment of desperation, she took out her phone and sent a WeChat message. Come and pick me up. I'm in Seductive Fox, room 808. Tell your husband to come with you. Hurry. Zhu Lingling knew that she had to ask Huamin for help. Of course, Huamin couldn't do it alone. She would be a lamb in a tiger's den if she came. So she repeatedly asked Qin Shu to come with her. However, she didn't know that Qin Shu was on a business trip to the neighboring city and hadn't returned yet. After Huamin heard the message, he felt that something was wrong with Lingling's voice. He called her back, but no one picked up. Suddenly, she had a bad feeling. She quickly got dressed and drove to Seductive Fox. Since it was late at night, there weren't many cars on the road. Huamin sped all the way to Seductive Fox in 12 minutes. This was the fastest she had ever driven since she started driving. She had even forgotten the fastest she had ever driven at that time. Miss, are you alone? The receptionist at the door greeted her politely. No, I'm here to pick up a friend, Huamin said in a hurry. Then, she took the elevator to the 8th floor. The moment she pushed open the door to the room, everyone looked over. Huamin was only wearing a pair of black wide-legged pants, a white t-shirt, and a long black vest. It was a simple combination of black and white, but it was very pleasing to the eye. When paired with her delicate and pretty face, it was just right. Her temperament was absolutely full. Lingling, she shouted in a panic. At this time, Zhu Lingling was lying in a man's arms. Her clothes were untidy. That monkey-faced man was groping her all over. Her heart was filled with anger. Zhu Lingling seemed to be unconscious. When she saw Huamin, she did not react. As a professional medical staff, she immediately understood that Lingling had been drugged. Io, where did this beauty come from? Her temperament is not bad. Zhou Guangming looked lecherously at Huamin at the door and laughed. Huamin did not speak. He looked at the men and women in the private room and asked, Who is Deng Kai? She knew that Deng Kai was the one who brought Lingling here. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come to a high-end place like Seductive Fox. However, her boyfriend brought her here. Now, she was being taken advantage of in another man's arms. He even drugged her. She was speechless. I am. Who are you? Deng Kai was having fun with a mixed-race beauty on the side. When he heard someone call his name, he immediately stood up. Huamin walked over to Deng Kai and, without saying anything, slapped him across the face. It was a very clear and crisp sound, and it shocked everyone present. Tis TSK. Where did this little pepper come from? She's so unique. A few rich guys watched the commotion and began to gossip. Who the fuck are you? Why did you hit me? Deng Kai was dumbfounded. He looked at Hua Min angrily. As Ling Ling's boyfriend, you brought her to a place like this. Not only did you not take good care of her, you even allowed her to be drugged and taken advantage of. I really want to know, when your mother gave birth to you, did she abandon you and raise the placenta? After Hua Min yelled at Deng Kai, someone immediately burst out laughing. This was the first time they had heard a girl yell at someone so funny. It was simply shocking. Wei Liao narrowed his eyes at Hua Min. Then, he deliberately asked Suyu, "This girl looks a little familiar to you. This little girl looks a little familiar. Is she the one you've been thinking about?" Suyu didn't say anything. However, ever since Hua Min walked into the private room, his gaze had never left her. He had to admit that every time he saw Hua Min, his heart would race. It was a strange feeling. Chapter 309. Where did this crazy woman come from? Is she crazy? Deng Kai was completely confused after being scolded and beaten up. He drank too much and had too much fun. He completely forgot that Zhu Lingling once told him that she had a best friend named Hua Min. He had no recollection of Hua Min at all. Hua Min ignored everything else and walked up to Zhou Guangming. He pulled the dazed Zhu Lingling out his arms. "Lingling, let's go." "Wait." Zhou Guangming's face darkened. Hua Min did not stop at all. He walked straight to the door of the private room, but was stopped by Zhou Guangming's subordinates. "How dare you take someone from my arms? Do you think I'm blind?" Zhou Guangming was having a good time. So how could he be happy when someone ruined the beautiful atmosphere? "Lingling is my best friend. She asked me to take her away, so I'm taking her away. It's that simple." Haha, what an arrogant tone. Do you think this is a market? You think you can come and go as you please? Zhou Guangming sneered and slowly sat up from the sofa. He had plenty of ways to deal with these lowly commoners. This was especially true for weak little girls. He loved to play cat and mouse games the most. Just then, Hui Yinyan suddenly walked over. He placed his hand on Zhou Guangming's shoulder and smiled. "Young Master Zhou, you're so lucky. Can we have a threesome tonight?" "A threesome? Haha, that's a good idea. You're smart." Zhou Guangming was immediately enlightened by Hui Yinyan's suggestion. Hua Min glanced coldly at Hui Yinyan's face. "You make it sound like you've done it before. How is that possible? I'm a girl from a good family. I'm a socialite, not like you. You're low-class trash. Even if you sell yourself, you won't be able to get a good price." "Miss Hua, do you guys know each other?" Zhou Guangming obviously noticed something. To his surprise, Hua Mian and Hui Yinyan both denied it at the same time. "We don't know him." "Haha, it's easy if you don't know me. Little beauty, you definitely won't be able to leave today. Why don't you stay and play with me? Or you can go by yourself and leave your good sister behind. What do you think?" Hua Min was extremely calm. He held Zhu Lingling's waist tightly, then looked at Zhou Guangming and said word by word, "You look like a human demon dog, but you don't speak human language. People like you are a waste of air if you live, and a waste of land if you die." Wei Liao, who was watching from the side, couldn't help but laugh. This girl is so funny. Even her scolding is so stylish, and her face is so serious. No wonder you like her. "She's always been like this," Suyu replied, staring at Hua Min's face. "Go ahead and scold her. The more you scold her, the more I'll find you in bed later." Zhou Guangming laughed lecherously. He thought that a weak woman like Hua Min, who had no background and no one to protect her, didn't seem like she knew any martial arts. It was a fool's dream to think that he could take her away in this private room with more than 20 people. At this moment, he already thought of Hua Min and Zhu Lingling as food on his plate, waiting to be enjoyed. "I don't believe in ghosts. The more you don't let me go, the more I want to go. Let's see who dares to stop me." Hua Min looked around coldly. Even when she saw Su Yu, there wasn't a trace of emotion in her eyes. It was as if she was looking at a stranger. Zhu Lingling had already told her that Su Yu was here, so she wasn't curious. Wei Liao looked at Su Yu with interest. "Isn't it your turn now? How about a hero saving a damsel in distress?" TSK. This plot development is almost like an 8 o'clock drama. Chapter 310. So you didn't say anything. He just stared at Huamin's delicate side profile. His gaze was deep, and no one could tell what he was thinking. Huamin left in a hurry, and the wind was strong at night, so she only wore a simple set of casual clothes. Black and white were so old-fashioned, but she managed to look like a socialite. Needless to say, Huamin's aura wasn't something normal people could match. Her hair was tied up in a simple ponytail, and it looked especially delicate. Her outfit was a little simple, but the situation was urgent, so she just randomly put it on and didn't care about her image. However, Suyu loved to look at her. He thought that Huamin looked especially good tonight. Actually, at the end of the day, it was because Suyu put his heart on Huamin. Even if she wore a cotton jacket and cotton pants, he would still think she looked good. This was the charm of beauty in the eye of the beholder. Little girl, don't try to struggle. Come here before I get angry, or else, if I get angry, the consequences will be very serious. Zhou Guangming didn't lose his patience, so he kept calling her little girl. Huamin's scalp went numb. If she wasn't holding Zhu Lingling in her arms, she really wanted to kick this disgusting scumbag to death. He was as disgusting as she could get. If this kind of person stayed at Southside to recuperate, she would use needles to cripple him. She wouldn't hold back at all. You can't touch me, or you'll regret it. Get out of my way. Huamin didn't want to waste any more time, so she gave a final warning. Hey, little cutie, are you angry? I want to see how you'll regret it. To Zhou Guangming, this was undoubtedly a little girl's last struggle. It wasn't even worth mentioning. Instead, it aroused his desire to conquer her. Zhou Guangming then reached out to take off his t-shirt, revealing his upper body. Oh, young Master Zhou is going to have some fun. Someone on the side cheered. Then, some clapped, some whistled, and everyone watched as if they were watching a monkey show. Huamin disliked this kind of scene very much. She already had a countermeasure in mind and wanted to end this confrontation quickly. Wei Liao could no longer remain calm because he saw that Suyu had no intention of making a move. This didn't make sense. Shouldn't he make a move at this moment and act like a hero, saving the beauty? In the end, the beauty would be grateful and he would win her heart? Was that how the script was written? In the end, Wei Liao couldn't help but remind him again. Lord Su, aren't you going to make a move? Otherwise, it will be too late. Zhou Guangming is very cruel when he plays with women. Can you really bear to see the girl you like be ruined? Suyu glanced at Wei Liao coldly and asked, If you're in a hurry, why don't you go and save her? Wei Liao was speechless. Actually, it wasn't that Suyu didn't want to make a move. He was just waiting. He was waiting for Huamin to ask him for help. He wasn't so cheap that he would run over and flatter her before she even said anything. That wasn't Suyu's style. He thought that as long as Huamin gave him a meaningful look, he would immediately cripple Zhou Guangming, this beast. Unfortunately, Huamin was extremely calm and had no intention of asking him for help. Moreover, when she glanced at him, it was as if she was looking at a stranger. She didn't linger for a second longer. He had seen Huamin's arrogance before, but he didn't expect her to still be so arrogant at a time like this. His interest was completely piqued. He wanted to see how a weak girl like Huamin would escape from this wolf's den. After Zhou Guangming took off his clothes, he approached Huamin naked. With a lewd smile on his face, he said, Baby, big brother is coming. Huamin only smiled slightly. Chapter 311. Just as everyone was ready to watch the show, including that bitch Huayin, who was taking photos with her phone, they were all waiting to see Huamin make a fool of herself. In the blink of an eye, Huamin pushed Zhu Lingling onto the sofa. Then, she walked towards Zhu Guangming. Zhou Guangming didn't expect this girl to take the initiative and was stunned. When he wasn't paying attention, Huamian lifted his arms and twisted them back with all her strength. With two cracking sounds, his arms were completely dislocated. A blood-curdling scream reverberated throughout the room. While the men were still confused, Huamin quickly picked up a beer bottle from the table and smashed it into Zhou Guangming's head. Then he smashed Zhou Guangming's head into pieces, scaring many women into screaming. Finally, just when everyone thought it was over, Huamin pointed the remaining half of the beer bottle at Zhou Guangming's neck. Because the beer bottle was broken, it became even sharper. If Zhou Guangming wasn't careful, it could kill him. Moreover, Huamin was pressing it against Zhou Guangming's neck. It was an artery. It could kill him at any moment. Everything happened so quickly that everyone in the audience was dumbfounded. Su Yu's heart raced as he watched. Perfect. Wei Liao almost applauded Huamin. You bitch, what are you doing? Let go of me. Zhou Guangming's arms were dislocated, and he was in so much pain that he couldn't stop crying. He didn't expect to have a broken beer bottle pressed against his neck. His face was pale from fear. If you don't want him to die, move aside. I'm taking my friend away. Huamin's tone was as calm as ever. Her expression didn't change at all. It was as if everything was under her control. It would be a miracle if these idiots could react. In such a short time, she turned the situation around. Other than Huamin, no one else could do it. Why are you guys still standing there? Go and kill this bitch. Zhou Guangming endured the pain and yelled at his men. Brother Huamin. Only then did the men realize what was going on. They all leaned towards Huamin. Don't come any closer, or else he's dead meat. Huamin pushed the wine bottle in his hand hard. The sharpness of the glass instantly pierced through the skin on Zhou Guangming's neck, causing him to wail in pain. It hurts. Don't come over. Hurry and go back. Zhou Guangming realized that this woman really didn't care about her life. She wasn't just trying to scare him. She was serious. At this moment, Huayin said, hurry up and capture her friend's woman and threaten her. When the time comes, a life for a life. Don't be afraid that she won't surrender. Huayin was indeed a little smarter than those people at this critical juncture. He still had to give Zhou Guangming bad ideas, sure enough. When those good-for-nothings heard Huayin's words, they immediately went to grab Zhu Lingling. After all, Huamin was alone. He could take care of Zhou Guangming, but he couldn't take care of Zhu Lingling. Everyone thought that once Zhu Lingling was taken hostage, Huamin would let go of Zhou Guangming. However, the reality was that they were all wrong. Even though Zhu Lingling was being threatened, she had no intention of letting go of Zhou Guangming. Let go of our brother Zhou, or else your friend is dead meat, one of the men said viciously as he strangled Zhu Lingling's neck. Huamin was still very calm. Why don't we do it together? Let's see if my friend or your brother Zhou dies first. You? Those men were instantly dumbfounded. They didn't think that this woman would be so difficult to talk to. She didn't even compromise. Then, Huamin added, hold on to my friend properly. Otherwise, if she loses a single strand of hair, I'll cut off a piece of your brother Zhou's flesh. You can try if you don't believe me. After speaking, Huamin tightened his grip on the beer bottle. At this moment, Zhou Guangming's face had already turned purple. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants at this moment. Wei Liao, who was watching from the side, sighed, Lord Su, the person you're interested in is indeed a ruthless character. Chapter 312. Huayin was infuriated when she saw Zhou Guangming's men being held back. She added fuel to the fire. Don't be afraid of her. She's just a woman. She won't dare to do anything. There's so many of us here. How can we let these two women go? If word gets out, we'll be laughed at. Huamin glanced at Huayin and continued to pressure them. You can listen to this woman's lies. When the time comes, I'll drain your brother Zhou's blood. Worst comes to worst, you'll pay with your life. We're both commoners, and our lives are worthless. I heard that your brother Zhou is a tycoon with too much money. It would be a pity if he died at such a young age. As soon as Huamin finished speaking, the men stepped back, not daring to act rashly. Sister, let's talk nicely. This stalemate is too dangerous. Let me go first, and I'll ask my men to send you guys out. Okay? After hearing what Huamin said, Zhou Guangming's legs turned to jelly. He was no longer arrogant and only wanted to save his own life. Huamin was right. His family was so rich. If he really died because of this, it wouldn't be worth it. Why should he be so calculative with two women? I'm not a child. Don't negotiate with me. Let me go, or we'll both die here. My patience is limited. You better hurry up, or I'll have to drain your blood first." After saying this, Huamin gently cut Zhou Guangming's neck and blood immediately oozed out. Actually, she didn't cut too deeply. It was just a superficial wound. As a medical staff member, she knew how to control herself. However, in the eyes of outsiders, this was a crazy move. Oh my God, this woman is really going to drain Brother Zhou's blood. There's so much blood. It's scary. Should we call the police? The people in the private room couldn't stay calm anymore. They were all in a state of panic. This was really serious. These rich kids only knew how to eat, drink, and play. They had never seen such a bloody scene. "Quick, let him go. Get out of the way. This woman is crazy." Zhou Guangming felt a chill on his neck, and sticky blood flowed out. At this moment, his willpower had completely collapsed. At this moment, Su Yu looked at Huamin with eyes full of appreciation. Yes, he admired her. She was calm in the face of danger, and her expression did not change. She could control the situation and knew how to defeat the enemy in one move. He could easily destroy Zhou Guangming's willpower and control the entire situation by himself. This woman's talent was wasted in the modern era. If she was placed in ancient times, she would at least be a talented general, the material of a marshal. He was quick-witted, steady, accurate, and ruthless in his actions. He didn't say much, but every word he said was deadly at this moment. This group of men had completely turned into good-for-nothings under her halo. "Don't let her go. Don't be afraid. It'll be fine," Huiyin shouted sharply. Unfortunately, no one paid any attention to her. At this time, who would still believe that Huamin was not joking? If this were to continue, he would really lose his life. "Motherfucker, why are you still standing there like idiots? Hurry up and let her go, sob." In the end, Zhou Guangming was already crying because he felt that he was going to bleed out and die at any moment. "Hurry up, everyone move aside. Open the door." Someone in the crowd shouted. In the end, everyone retreated and the door of the private room opened. Huamin was still holding onto Zhou Guangming's collar with one hand and the broken wine bottle with the other, not leaving even a step. "You, help my friend and come downstairs with me. Don't follow us." Huamin looked at the man holding on to Zhu Lingling and ordered. The man did not dare to delay. He immediately helped Zhu Lingling and followed Huamin out of the private room. The others were watching, but no one dared to chase after them. In the end, Huamin held Zhou Guangming hostage and went downstairs. He ordered another man to put Zhu Lingling in the passenger seat. "Put her down and then move 50 meters away," Huamin ordered again. The man immediately did as he was told. After making sure that no one was chasing after them, everything was okay. Huamin pushed Zhou Guangming away, opened the car door, and drove away. At this moment, the others immediately went up and helped Zhou Guangming back to the private room. "Hurry up and call 120, someone in the crowd shouted. "What 120? Hurry up and chase after that car with me. Surround the entire city. We must kill those two bitches." Zhou Guangming did not feel good until he vented his anger. His anger and fear had reached its peak. Just as these people were about to rush out and chase after the car, Su Yu slowly stood up and said, "Don't chase." Chapter 3:13. Young Master Su. No one understood what he meant. They didn't know why the young master, who had been watching the show for so long, suddenly spoke up. "Don't ask so many questions. If Lord Su says no one is allowed to go, then no one is allowed to go. If you annoy Lord Su, you guys could do whatever you want." Wei Liao also stood up with a smile. Although Zhou Guangming was unwilling, he didn't dare to do anything because of Su Yu's words. He could only swallow his anger for now. After Huamin left, Su Yu also lost his mood. He stood up and left. A group of people followed behind him. When Huiyin saw Su Yu leave, she immediately followed him. "Young Master Su, I want to..." Huiyin volunteered to block Su Yu's path. The parrot and chicken feather costume she was wearing was especially eye-catching. She wanted to use her heavy taste to win Su Yu's affection. She didn't know who was brave enough to spread rumors that Su Yu was a freak. She always liked things that were out of place and weird, just for the sake of novelty. Hui Yanyan spent a lot of money to find a stylist to imitate her stunning godmother, Lady Gaga. She didn't expect that she would fail. Lady Gaga had always been like this. Her sudden move was really too much for him to handle. She was such a good woman, but she kept looking for trouble. No wonder Huasiqian once said that Hui Yanyan was a brainless idiot with big boobs. "Get out of my way." Suyu mercilessly waved his hand and pushed Hui Yanyan to the side. Just now, Hui Yanyan caused a lot of trouble. Suyu didn't even have time to deal with her. Luckily, Huamin was fine. If Huamin was hurt even a little bit because of this, he would immediately pull out Hui Yanyan's tongue. Who asked her to talk so much? After Suyu pushed Hui Yanyan away, he got into his black Lamborghini. Wei Liao sat in the passenger seat. "Where are we going now? Are we going to find your girl?" Wei Liao asked with a smile. Suyu didn't say anything. He stepped on the gas pedal, and the car shot out. Wei Liao was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. He knew what Suyu was thinking, but he couldn't guess at all. After all, he was a fickle guy, Suyu, and he was a fickle guy. He drove all the way to Lingling's parents' house. He wanted to go to Lingling's place, but he was afraid that those people would come after him for revenge. After all, Huamian, Suyu's boyfriend, Zhu Lingling. When she passed by the pharmacy, she bought some hangover medicine and gave it to Lingling. When he dropped her off at her parents' place, Huamin only said that she was drunk. Everyone knew that Huamin was Zhu Lingling's good friend, so Zhu Lingling's parents didn't think much of it. Huamin observed for a while. When he saw that Zhu Lingling was asleep and stable, he felt at ease and went home. She was very careful on the way home because she knew that those people weren't simple people. It was possible that they would follow her in the middle of the night and take revenge. Luckily, everything was calm. However, the calmer it was, the more uneasy she felt. She was very nervous just now. Luckily, she was calm. Otherwise, would she really have killed Zhou Guangming? Of course not. She wasn't that stupid. Murder was a capital offense. She just thought that if she had to, she would. So you wouldn't just stand by and watch, right? Of course, if she could solve it herself, she would solve it herself. Huamin didn't want to owe anyone a favor, especially when she owed Suyu a favor. She already knew how Suyu felt about her. Although she didn't know if he was sincere or if he was just playing around or if he really liked her a little. She didn't care at all because in her heart, Qin Shu was enough. When Huamin got home, it was already 2:30 in the morning. After she entered the house, she saw the dim light in the living room. Qin Shu was sitting there, wearing a jacket and smoking. "You're back." Seeing Qin Shu, Huamin felt strangely at ease. "Where did you go?" Qin Shu raised his head. When he looked at Huamin, his gaze was a little complicated. Chapter 314. "Oh, Lingling is playing outside. She's drunk. Someone pick her up." "It's so late. Do you think it's safe for you to pick her up at nightclub?" Qin Shu's tone was a bit cold. He was completely different from his usual self. Huamin had a vague feeling that something was wrong. "Oh, it's fine. I'm not drunk. Plus, didn't I come back safely?" Huamin smiled. Qin Shu didn't say anything else, but his expression remained indifferent. "Are you hungry? I'll make you a midnight snack." "No, it's okay. I already ate." "Then I'll run the bath for you." Huamin asked guiltily. "You go to bed first. I still have work to do." After speaking, Qin Shu got up, went upstairs, and went straight into his study. With a bang, the door to the study was tightly shut, and even the sound was louder than usual. Huamin was a bit confused. Is Mr. Qin on his period? He's acting a bit weird today. Although he was confused, he didn't think too much about it. Huamin would never tell Qin Shu what just happened. If Qin Shu found out that she faced off against more than 20 men by herself, and even risked her life, he would go crazy. Qin Shu would go crazy. She knew how much Qin Shu cared about her safety. Just look at the huge amount of insurance he placed on her. Huamin then took a shower and crawled under the covers. After waiting for a long time, Qin Shu didn't come back to the room. In the end, she fell asleep on her own. Inside the study, Qin Shu looked at his laptop and didn't look like he was going to work at all. He was originally in a meeting in a neighboring city, and he was going to have an emergency meeting overnight. GK invested in real estate in a neighboring city, but the local government introduced a new policy and made changes. In order to not waste the billions that they invested, Qin Shu had no choice but to bring people to the construction site to inspect. Then he brought a few executives and engineers for an overnight meeting. However, in the middle of the night, he suddenly received a video recording. It was from Rick. Rick and Qin Shu were friends, but they rarely contacted each other. Under normal circumstances, Rick would never look for Qin Shu if he didn't need anything. After all, their identities were too special. No one knew that when Qin Shu was in the United States, he had a special relationship with Rick and Rick's family. After returning to China, Qin Shu had used Rick's connections once to investigate the incident where the truck had almost hit Huamin. Rick's sudden video call was definitely not because he was bored. Qin Shu waved his hand and ended the meeting. He walked into the lounge and watched the video. Then, their faces darkened. Seductive Fox nightclub was one of the Rick family's businesses, and there were surveillance cameras in every corner. Therefore, from the moment Huamin walked in to the moment Huamin walked out, Qin Shu saw everything clearly. At the end, Rick added, "I heard that you're not in the city, but don't worry, we'll be fine." In other words, Rick would definitely protect Huamin, but to his surprise, Huamin easily escaped. Although this method was a little risky, it really made people look at him in a new light. Huamin probably didn't know that someone was secretly protecting her at Seductive Fox nightclub. After Qin Shu saw what Huamin did, he felt terrible. He was no longer in the mood for meetings, so he drove straight home and waited for Huamin to confess and admit her mistakes. He was clearly telling her not to do dangerous things, but she kept putting herself at the heart of the struggle. If it wasn't Rick's nightclub, if those people were also criminals, would Huamin still be able to walk out of it unscathed? He didn't even dare to think about it. However, after he came home and questioned her, this woman pretended to be dumb and didn't say a word about what happened that night. Didn't he have a right to worry? Shouldn't a married couple be honest with each other? This was the first time Qin Shu was so angry. He was angrier than before, so he completely ignored Huamin and went to the study. He didn't go back to his room the entire night. The next morning, when Huamin woke up in the morning, she didn't see any breakfast or Qin Shu. She sent him a WeChat message. "Did you go to work?" After a while, she didn't get a response. Huamin thought that Qin Shu might still be busy, so she didn't think too much about it. She walked out the door and thought that someone might have taken her license plate number, so she didn't drive. Instead, she took a cab to the hospital. As soon as she arrived at the hospital, she received a call from Zhu Lingling. "Girl, what happened last night?" Zhu Lingling's voice was hoarse as she asked in a daze. Chapter 315. "Sis, you still have the nerve to ask." Huamin was speechless. "I only remember that Zhou whatever drugged me. I felt really dizzy, so I sent you a WeChat message. I don't remember anything after that." "Oh, right. I remember seeing Hu Yinyan there. Oh my God, she was dressed like a feather duster. So funny." "Sis, you still have the time to laugh at other people? You were almost raped, did you know that? Almost means that it didn't happen. Haha, you must have come in time, right? Of course, if I didn't go, you would be screwed. Haha, I knew you would come. You went with Qin Shu, right? Those scumbags must have been shocked when they saw Qin Shu. It must have felt so good to be killed in seconds. Too bad I didn't get to see it." Huamin paused for a moment and said, "Don't talk to that scumbag boyfriend of yours anymore. Break up with him and don't talk to him anymore." "Of course, do I need you to tell me that? If I saw him, I would beat him up and break up with him." Zhu Lingling was speechless when it came to her boyfriend. He betrayed her at such a critical moment. He was not a man at all. She was almost raped by that Zhou guy. Luckily, Huamin was there. Huamin didn't want to talk too much about what happened last night because he didn't want Zhu Lingling to feel guilty. Some things were in the past, and it was best if they didn't happen. After hanging up the phone, Huamin went back to work. Huamin's incident last night had already spread among the upper class. Many people wanted to see this tough woman for themselves. They wanted to see the scene with their own eyes. Apparently, Zhou Guangming was already recuperating in the first hospital's VIP room. Not only did his family take turns to look after him, they even hired bodyguards. This time, he was almost scared to death by a woman. "Huang, you had always been a gossipy nurse." During her lunch break, she secretly sent Huamin a WeChat message. Mian, come out. What's up? Today, a young master was admitted to our VIP ward. I heard that he is the son of the coal boss. Yes, Huamin replied calmly. Do you know how he got in? I don't know. Uh-huh. You might not believe me even if I tell you. I heard that he was drunk last night and wanted to rape a girl. In the end, he met an expert. That girl was trained and her skills were too good. She beat him up badly. Not only did he dislocate his arm, but she also almost slit his throat. I don't know where this girl came from. She's so valiant. Cough, cough, cough. Where did you hear all this nonsense from? Huamin was drinking water when he almost spat it out. Expert? Trained before? Cut the throat? Did it have to be so dangerous? It's not nonsense. It's true. I heard that the rich second generation was scared to death and is now hospitalized. There are 8 bodyguards guarding the door. I really want to know the shadow in his heart at this moment. It's not serious, is it? Huamin wondered if the other party would hold him responsible if he hit him too hard. It's nothing serious. It's all superficial wounds. His arm has been fixed. It's just that he was too scared and can't sleep. The neurologist just gave him a tranquilizer. Oh. Huamin finally let out a sigh of relief. He was relieved to hear from Huang Yu that the scumbag was fine. Fortunately, the scumbag was admitted to the first hospital. If he came directly to Southside, he wondered if he would fall to the ground and start foaming at the mouth when he saw that the nurse was Huamin. After all, Huamin left a deep impression on him last night. It was like a nightmare. Hua Corporation headquarters. So, my little sister Mian almost turned the earth upside down last night. Hua Xiqian played with a small globe in his hand as he listened to one of his subordinates report to him. A meaningful smile appeared on his face. Chapter 316. Yes, President Hua, that's what happened. Very good. We should be thankful that Mian is fine. Otherwise, Zhou Guangming would be at the crematorium instead of the first hospital. We'll keep an eye on Miss Hua. Don't worry, President Hua. We won't let anything go wrong. Good job. You can leave now. After Huamin chased away his subordinates, he wanted to call Mian. However, Huasi suddenly barged in and interrupted him. Big brother? What is it? Huasi Qian turned around. I don't want to continue supervising the project in England. Although Huasi didn't like Huasi Qian, he still had to call him Big Brother. Why? Isn't it great? I even praise you in front of Dad. It always rains in England. The weather is terrible, and I'm always in a bad mood. I don't have any friends there, and there's nowhere to play. I'm bored to death. Dad said that you're a grown-up now and can't always think about playing. You have to help me share some of my work. I'll just share some of my work here. I don't want to go overseas. Anyways, don't send me there anymore. I won't go anyway. I'll talk to Dad myself. After speaking, before Huasiqian could say anything, Huasi turned around and left. TSK, look at him. He's so stubborn now. Huasiqian shook his head and sighed. However, he wasn't in a hurry to make a move on Huasi and Huayin because they were no longer a threat. The only threats left were that old bastard and that old bastard's mistress. At dinner, Huasiqian sat in the dining room of the Hua family's mansion. He sat beside Hua Zhenghai and poured him food and wine like a filial son. Huasi and Hua Yinyin often went out to play and rarely ate dinner at home. Only Xinjiani and Jiang Hong would come downstairs on time. Dad, I received a piece of news recently. What news? Hua Zhenghai's interest was piqued. I heard that Su Yu is interested in Mian's sister. Su Yu? The ancestor of the Su family? Even Hua Zhenghai was awed by the mention of the Su family. It was said that in Sea City, just the surname Su alone was enough to be a tyrant. The Su family was a century-old family. It was a family that had been powerful since the national era. The family had produced many high-ranking officials and wealthy businessmen. It was already deeply rooted in the country and was not something that could be easily shaken. As the only son of the 5th generation of the Su family, Su Yu was destined to be a proud son of God from the moment he was born. Yes, that's him. How could he fall for Huamin? Hua Zhenghai was a little surprised. His unfavored daughter wasn't beautiful or voluptuous. Even if she wanted to be gentle, she didn't seem to be gentle at all. When she talked to him, she sounded very fierce. She was actually liked by Su Yu. Huasiqian chuckled. Little sister Mian, you're very special. It's not surprising that you're interested in her. Don't forget that you had a romantic relationship with the heir of the Qin family when you were in school. What? Suyu is interested in Huamin? Isn't that a joke? Xinjiani was very surprised. Her daughter had always wanted to get close to Suyu. She didn't expect Suyu to be involved with Huamin. Jiang Hong took a sip of red wine gracefully and smiled. What's so funny about that? Everyone has their own preferences. Our Yin may be as pretty as a flower, but Suyu might not like her. You never know. Xinjiani glanced at Jiang Hong. She knew that she was doing this on purpose, but she didn't want to argue with her. Hu Zhenghai had heard about what happened to Huamin in school, but he didn't think much of it. They were all kids back then, and marriage wasn't involved. There were no business interests involved either, so it wasn't worth mentioning. Where did you get the news? Are you sure? Hu Zhenghai still didn't believe it and asked. Chapter 317. So you told me himself? Is that accurate? Huasiqian smiled mysteriously. This time, Hu Zhenghai was completely shocked. He knew that Huasiqian wouldn't give out fake news, especially when he was talking to him. If Suyu really did like Huamin, if this is true, then that's great. Our Hua family's glory days are just around the corner. Hu Zhenghai nodded in satisfaction. However, Shun Jiani reminded him, Master, it's too early to be happy. That girl already announced that she's no longer related to us. I'm afraid we won't be able to take advantage of it. So what if she's no longer related to us? She's still a child of the Hua family. As long as I can confirm that it's true, I'll be able to find the Su family. The Su family naturally wants to marry a respectable daughter-in-law, and only I can give Hua Mian an honorable identity. After Hu Zhenghai finished speaking, everyone fell silent. Everyone had their own agenda. Jiang Hong didn't say anything, but she also had her own plans. Shun Jiani knew that no matter what her master decided, he would always think about her children. When Huasiqian heard his father's words, he just wanted to chuckle. He really wanted to ask Hu Zhenghai, Dad, are you really not thinking too much? They were all thinking about marriage. Of course, none of them knew that Huamin was already with Qin Chu. Huasiqian was the only one who knew about this, just like when they were still in school. Because he paid too much attention to Huamin, he was always the first to know about Huamin's secret. Zhu Lingling slept all day. In the afternoon, she got up to shower and change her clothes before going out for a walk. That was when Deng Kai called her. She had turned off her phone all day and had just turned it back on. Deng Kai asked her to meet him at her place, so Zhu Lingling gladly agreed. Nothing would happen during the day, and it was under her own building. As expected, Deng Kai drove a Toyota Prado and waited there. Zhu Lingling didn't say anything and slapped him across the face. Just like Huamin, the slap was crisp and clear. Scumbag, I'm returning this slap to your face. We're breaking up. After speaking, Zhu Lingling turned around and left. Lingling, wait. It's impossible between us. You don't have to say anything. Zhu Lingling thought that Deng Kai was begging her to make up. I'm not asking for peace. I just want to advise you to pack your things and run away with your best friend. Leave his place, okay? What do you mean? Break up with you? Can't you tolerate us anymore? Zhu Lingling turned around and glared at Deng Kai. It's not me. It's young Master Zhou. He has already said that he won't let this matter rest. Based on my understanding of him, he will take revenge very soon. The way your friend treated him last night has completely angered the Zhou family. What about my friend? Zhu Lingling froze slightly when she heard the hidden meaning in Deng Kai's words. Didn't she tell you that she almost killed Zhou Guangming last night to take you away? Deng Kai looked at Zhu Lingling meaningfully. Killed Zhou Guangming? Zhu Lingling was dumbfounded. Why didn't Huamin mention such a big thing? Zhu Lingling was furious. She grabbed Deng Kai's collar and said, Tell me what happened last night. Deng Kai told Zhu Lingling everything that happened last night. Zhu Lingling's face turned from white to black, then from black to purple. Huamin went there alone, saved her, and almost killed someone. Qin Chu didn't go, and Huamin really did go there alone. Oh my God, what stupid thing did she do to almost kill Huamin? Seeing Zhu Lingling's dumbfounded expression, Deng Kai continued. After all, we were together once. Although I never thought about marrying you, it wasn't just for fun. Since we've been together for so long, I'll give you a piece of advice. You should hurry up and leave with your friends. It's best if your family moves away too. Otherwise, your parents won't be able to escape the blame. Young Master Zhou is still in the hospital. Once he's discharged, the Zhou family will start to seek revenge. What the fuck is wrong with this world? We're the victims. Why should we run? Zhu Lingling cursed. It can't be helped. This is the world of the rich. Whoever has the most power is the father. The Zhou family has a big business and a lot of money. If they hire someone to kill, they can wipe out your whole family in a matter of minutes. I'm not trying to scare you, but the most important thing is that good sister of yours. I think she'll end up even worse. After Deng Kai left, Zhu Lingling calmed down and called Huamin. What's wrong? Are you sober now? Huamin chuckled as if nothing had happened. Girl, why didn't you tell me the truth about what happened last night? Zhu Lingling's tone was very serious. Chapter 3:18. What truth? Huamin didn't plan on telling Zhu Lingling the truth, so he pretended not to know. Deng Kai told me everything. Oh, he told you everything. It's not a big deal. We're both fine. Huamin smiled faintly and said in a relaxed tone, Damn it. Are you stupid? You almost lost your life. Do you know that? Zhu Lingling couldn't hold it in anymore and burst into tears. It's not that serious. I was just scaring that scumbag. I won't actually kill him. He has to pay for it with his life. Bullshit. Don't lie to me. Do you think I don't know what kind of person you are? Zhu Lingling was crying so hard that her makeup was ruined, and the dark circles under her eyes attracted a lot of attention. What are you looking at? Go away. Zhu Lingling cursed at the onlookers. Sis, don't cry. I'm not dead yet, right? Plus, if I didn't put my life on the line, how could I have gotten you out of the tiger's den so easily? Those people aren't idiots, right? Damn it. Huamin, you're lucky you're fine. If something really happened to you, Qin Shu would have cut me into pieces, put me in a pot of boiling oil, and put me on a mountain of knives. Zhu Lingling didn't even dare to imagine how Qin Shu, who always spoiled his wife, would feel if he knew that Huamin was almost killed. I'm fine, right? I've always been lucky. Huamin smiled. Deng Kai, that scumbag, told me to run away because the Zhou family is going to take revenge. Forget about running away. If they want to kill you, it's not safe anywhere. Plus, I think the most dangerous place is the safest place. Huamin calmly analyzed. Why run? With Mr. Qin here, who would dare to touch a hair on your head? But you still have to be careful. Be careful when you go to and from work. Yes, I'll be careful. You should also ask Uncle and Annie and the others to hide for a while and go on a trip or something. Okay, I'll arrange it. When Zhu Lingling hung up the phone, she said seriously, Girl, I will remember what you have done for me. If you need me one day, my life is yours. Cut the crap. Why would I want your life? It's not worth anything. Afraid that Zhu Lingling would be too emotional, Huamin immediately hung up the phone. Needless to say, her friendship with Zhu Lingling had been so good for so many years. When she was in need of money, Zhu Lingling would transfer money to her without hesitation. She would do whatever she could. Huamin thought that, at her age, she was no longer an ignorant little girl. She had matured. She didn't want to please anyone anymore. She would stay with whoever she was happy with. If she was tired, she would stay away. It was better to please herself than to please others. She would rather be alone than go against her heart. She would rather have regrets than compromise. It was still the same saying. Those who didn't win her heart, she wouldn't care about them. Those who could win her heart, she would treat them like a king. And in her heart, Qin Shu was an absolute king. However, she still didn't know what happened to her king last night. He didn't even respond to her the entire day. Huamin tried to send a WeChat red packet over. It wasn't a lot. It was just to test the waters. 88 yuan. The other side immediately accepted it. Huamin was instantly in a good mood. He sent a WeChat message over. Mr. Qin, are you busy today? He waited for a long time, but there was no reply. What was going on? In a fit of anger, Huamin posted on his WeChat friend circle. If you send someone a WeChat red packet and they accept it, but they don't reply when you send them a WeChat message, what's going on? He didn't expect to see a comment right after he posted it. Huamin thought it was that brat Jixin. However, he didn't expect it to be Qin Shu. He commented, "Then you must have done something wrong to him." Huamin wanted to cry, but no tears came out. He replied, "Mr. Qin, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent. I swear to God, I've been loyal to you recently. Let the heavens and the earth be my witness." Then, Qin Shu went silent again. He was still playing the silent game. Huamin was scared out of her with the entire afternoon. When he got home from work, she waited for him. Finally, when it was almost 8 o'clock, Qin Shu opened the door and came home. "Mr. Qin, you've worked hard today. Do you want coffee or tea?" Huamin tried his best to please him. "I don't want to talk to you." After saying this, Qin Shu directly walked upstairs. Finally, Huamin couldn't take it anymore. "Qin Shu, you bastard, stop right there." Chapter 319. Upon hearing what Huamin said, Qin Shu finally stopped in his tracks. "Don't you think you went overboard?" Huamin puffed up her cheeks and asked angrily, "Shouldn't I be the one saying that?" Qin Shu turned around and stared at Huamin. "Please don't beat around the bush like this. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't you think it's weird for us to be like this?" Huamin really didn't like the way Qin Shu ignored her. It was really annoying. Upon hearing her question, Qin Shu turned around and walked down the stairs. He walked up to Huamin step by step and looked in her eyes for 3 seconds. "Okay, then I'll ask you again. Where did you go last night? What happened? Think about it before you answer me." Upon hearing Qin Shu mention what happened last night, Huamin had a bad feeling. Especially when Qin Shu looked at her so sharply, Huamin felt that Qin Shu probably knew about it. So she asked tentatively, "I didn't know what happened last night either. But it still happened, didn't it? Did Lingling tell you?" Huamin thought that other than Zhu Lingling, no one else would tell Qin Shu. "No need, I have my ways of finding out. But you didn't even tell me about such a big thing. Do you still think of me as your husband? Or are you just a decoration in the house?" From what Qin Shu said, she could tell that he was really angry. What he was most angry about was that Huamin always made her own decisions and hid things from him. He was so worried about her, but she refused to say anything. As expected, Qin Shu knew everything. Huamin bit her lip and thought for a moment. In the end, she decided to tell him everything. She took Qin Shu's hand and sat down on the sofa. Then, she briefly told him what happened last night. Of course, she simplified a lot. However, what she didn't know was that Qin Shu had even watched the video. How could he not know what had happened? "That's what happened. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry. Besides, I'm back in one piece, aren't I? Next time, can you think of talking to me first before you have any problems? Didn't you go on a business trip to the neighboring city? Even if I drove back, I wouldn't have made it in time. Lingling was in such a dangerous situation, and I was too anxious." Huamin tried to find an excuse. "I'm not in the city, but I can use my connections. Although I just came back not long ago, I'm still the president of GK. Your husband is a boss, not a loser. We've known each other for so many years. Don't you trust me that much?" Qin Shu frowned and questioned. "I was wrong." Huamin finally lowered his head. "What's wrong? I shouldn't have hidden this from you. I should have told you last night." "No, you should have told me as soon as Zhu Lingling sent you that WeChat message. I would have arranged everything so that you wouldn't be in danger alone," Qin Shu added. Yes. You're always right." Huamin immediately nodded. He was afraid that Qin Shu would continue to scold him. "You only know how to brush me off. You say that every time, but you still make mistakes." Qin Shu obviously wasn't going to let it go so easily. Seeing that he was about to be scolded again, Huamin immediately coughed a few times. Ahem. I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Next time, I'll, be careful," Huamin stuttered. Then, she clutched her chest as if she was in pain. Sure enough, seeing her like this, Qin Shu immediately walked up to her worriedly. He gently patted her back and asked gently, "Look, did you catch a cold?" Chapter 320. I think I caught a cold. It's autumn now, so the weather is a little cold, Huamin replied softly. Qin Shu's heart ached as he covered her with a blanket from the sofa. Then, he walked into the kitchen and made a bowl of brown sugar ginger water to warm her up. Huamin smiled smugly as she held the warm brown sugar ginger water. She knew that no matter how resourceful Qin Shu was, he would immediately panic as soon as she showed the slightest sign of weakness. He couldn't even tell if she was really sick or if she was just faking it. The next day, after Huamin went to work, Deputy Director Guo called out to Huamin in a meeting. What is it, Deputy Director Guo? Huamian, Southside recently selected an outstanding employee. I've submitted your application. As soon as President Wu approves it, I'll immediately give you a bonus of 20,000 yuan. It's okay, Deputy Director Guo. I don't think I'm that outstanding. I'm just doing my job. Huamin definitely didn't want to be in the limelight and fight for an outstanding employee award. To be honest, she didn't think she was that outstanding. Moreover, she was different from when she first started working at the first hospital. Back then, she was quite poor. She needed money, so she went all out and asked the head nurse for money as a reward. Now that she didn't need money, she just wanted to do her job well. She might as well give the bonus to someone who needed it. Otherwise, she wouldn't deserve it. Hey, I said I'd choose you. Young master who gave us so much funding. Isn't it all thanks to you? Deputy Director Guo mentioned Hua Xiqian again, which made Huamin feel disgusted. Deputy Director Guo, I'm sorry. Hua Xiqian and I aren't close. He's him and I'm me. You don't have to take extra care of me because of him. Hey, I understand. I won't tell anyone. Don't worry, just do your job. Deputy Director Guo didn't seem to understand what Huamin was trying to say. He purposely said those words to take credit before he left. Huamin felt really depressed during lunch break. A black Rolls-Royce slowly stopped in front of Southside Recuperation Center. After Hua Zhenghai got out of the car, he was followed by 2 bodyguards and a driver. Perhaps because of his poor health and fear of catching a cold, there was a bodyguard holding an umbrella for him. Dressed in a black cashmere coat, Hua Zhenghai looked like an aristocrat with a serious expression on his face. When Huamin saw him at the door of his office, he first glanced at him, then lowered his head and continued to organize the reports. He had no intention of speaking at all. Mian, he spoke first. Then, Hua Zhenghai waved his hand, gesturing for the people behind him to leave and close the door. Mr. Hua, don't waste your time on me. I'm not going back to the Hua family. I've already made a statement, and I'm sure you've seen it. I don't want to waste my time talking to you. Besides, I'm quite busy with work. Please leave. In order to avoid an unpleasant conversation, Huamin directly asked him to leave. However, Hua Zhenghai had no intention of leaving. Instead, he walked over to the chair across from Huamin and sat down. Mian, I understand your difficulties. Your mother and you haven't had it easy all these years. As a father, I didn't do my job well. You can blame me, I understand. Thank you for your understanding. Take care. Huamin's expression was cold. He didn't even look up at Hua Zhenghai. She had nothing to say to this cold-blooded entrepreneur. As a human, what was the point of living if he didn't even have the most basic human nature? Of course, she couldn't say that. After all, he was still her father, even if she didn't want to admit it. Mian, don't be in such a hurry. Let me finish. I heard rumors about you. So you was recuperating here a few days ago. You're his personal nurse, aren't you? After beating around the bush for so long, Hua Zhenghai finally got to the point. Chapter 321. Yes, is there a problem? Huamin finally raised his head and stared at Hua Zhenghai. No problem. I also heard that Suyu likes you. So what? What does that have to do with you? Huamin asked back mercilessly. Kid, don't be so agitated. I was just thinking, if you also like Suyu, I can help you. I could take you back into the Hua family and give you the same status as Yin Yin. That way, the Su family might easily accept you. If we get engaged, you can openly use the Su family's power to expand your Hua empire, consolidate your ambitions, promote your son and daughter, and please your mistress, right? Huamin said what was on Hua Zhenghai's mind. Huamin reacted so quickly that Hu Zhenghai was stunned. He didn't expect Huamin to see through everything so clearly. How can you think of me as that kind of person? Then what kind of person do you think you are? Huamin crossed his arms and looked at him coldly. I know, you've been biased against me all these years. I don't blame you. Really, I just want to help you. After all, with your current status, it's impossible for you to enter the Su family. What a joke. Why would I enter the Su family? Don't you like Suyu? Hu Zhenghai continued to ask. Which god told you that I like Suyu? You seem to have guessed everything yourself, don't you? You should know what kind of person Suyu is. He's God's favored son, the man that so many women dream of. Hu Zhenghai interpreted Suyu's noble status and tried to make Huamin see the truth. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those women who dream of Suyu. Mian, you can't be so willful. It's your fortune that Suyu likes you, understand? I know what you're thinking. You're hoping that he likes Hui Yin, but unfortunately, Hui Yin isn't good enough for him, right? Huamin hit the nail on the head. Seeing how hostile Huamin was, Hu Zhenghai decided to take the warm approach. He said with a loving expression, Actually, you and Yin are the same in my heart. I'll be happy no matter who marries into the Su family. Don't you think it's funny to say such untrue words? I found it funny. How could I be the same as Hu Yin? She had been a socialite for more than 20 years, and I had been an illegitimate daughter for more than 20 years. Mr. Hua, although I graduated from a third-rate school, don't bully me because I'm not well-educated. In the end, Huamin still didn't get a single cent off of Huamin. Hu Zhenghai was completely speechless. Anyways, think about this carefully. If you need an identity, come find me anytime. Even if you announce that you're leaving the Hua family, it doesn't change the fact that I'm your father. Why are you so happy now? Where did you go in the first place? Huamin rolled his eyes at Hu Zhenghai. Hu Zhenghai, after being speechless by Huamin, he had no choice but to leave. He had already made himself clear. If Huamin wanted to find him, he would welcome him at any time. Of course, he didn't really want the Hua family to return to the Hua family and acknowledge his daughter. He just wanted Suyu as his money tree. If he could become in-laws with the Su family, then the Hua corporation would probably last for 100 years. On the way back, Hu Zhenghai sighed slightly. Chairman, are you in a bad mood? The driver was an old man who had been with Hu Zhenghai for many years. After Jing betrayed him and left with Yang Meirong, Hu Zhenghai changed his driver. The man was honest and was also his confidant. I was just thinking, if only Yin had half of Huamin's brain. Hu Zhenghai had met countless people, and after interacting with Huamin multiple times, he already realized that Huamin was terrifyingly smart. The seemingly gentle and well-behaved girl had both a high IQ and EQ. Hu Zhenghai couldn't gain any advantage from confronting her. No matter what his goal was, he would still fail miserably in the end. If only Hui Yin had half of Huamin's personality, Hu Xiqian's adopted son wouldn't be so arrogant, right? Inside a high-end clubhouse in the city, Suyu was sitting inside, playing cards with Wei Liao and the others. Zhao Qingya suddenly walked in and sat right next to Suyu. Then, tears welled up in her eyes, making her look like a wronged wife. Oh, what happened to our best actress? This is Tang Chuan, who was sitting across from Suyu, teased with a smile. Chapter 322. Nothing. It's just that I haven't seen President Su in a few days, and I miss him. Zhao Qingya's voice was very soft. He didn't know if she was faking it or if her voice was really like that. Either way, she always had this voice on TV and gained a lot of male fans because of it. Looks like Lord Su is going to be lucky tonight. They joked around, but Suyu remained expressionless. After a few rounds, Wei Liao suggested, "Let's go for a drink. It's too early and we don't have anything to do." Suyu looked at his watch and saw that it was only 10:30, so he nodded. "Go find a place." Wei Liao immediately made a call and booked a place. Then they went together. There were a dozen people who weren't very close to Suyu, but they were all in the same circle. Usually, these rich guys were proud to see Suyu in person. They would even secretly post on their WeChat moments to show off their wealth. Money and cars paled in comparison. The popular way to show off in C-City was to hang out with Su Yu at the same police station. It was a symbol of status. Zhao Qingyao was wearing a white suit with a Chanel ball and short sleeves. She looked very elegant and beautiful. Many people in the private room asked for photos with her. Clearly, she was very popular. She was indeed the kind of woman who looked better in real life than on TV. She had a good foundation. President Su, I want to be the female lead of the company's movie Shooting Star and Butterfly Sword. The past life, Zhao Qingyao said coquettishly when she saw that Su Yu was in a good mood. Sure. Su Yu nodded and didn't say anything else. But Sister Lisa said that the company has already decided on Mian Mian. Zhao Qingyao pouted, clearly unhappy. Oh, then you could choose another one. The company makes a lot of movies every year anyway. Su Yu took a sip of wine nonchalantly. I don't want to. I'm a wuxia fan, and I like Shooting Star and Butterfly Sword. President Su, do you not like Qingyao anymore? Are you going to let cotton candy take my place? Su Yu tilted his head and glanced at her. Displeased, he said, I don't have anyone by my side to replace me. Whoever I'm interested in is my woman. Have you forgotten the rules? No, I just think that Mian Mian is a scheming bitch who imitated me to get to the top. Maybe she's not sincere and is only trying to get close to you for the sake of fame and benefits. You make it sound like you're not doing this for fame and fortune. Su Yu sneered. Realizing that she had said something wrong, Zhao Qingyao immediately explained, President Su, I'm different from them. I've been with you the longest. Get someone to send you back. I'm a little tired. Su? Before Zhao Qingyao could finish her sentence, Su Yu waved his hand and called for one of his subordinates to send the reluctant Zhao Qingyao away. What's wrong, Lord Su? The beauty is gone tonight. Where are you going to vent your anger? Su Yu glared at Wei Liao. I'll go to you, okay? No, I don't like men. I only like girls with big breasts, slim waists, and sweet voices. Wei Liao laughed. After Zhao Qingyao left, Su Yu continued to drink slowly. During the banquet, some people brought up Zhou Guangming's private affairs in the past few days. Hey, did you hear? The Zhou family announced that they're going to deal with that woman. I wonder which family she's from. She's so brave that she almost stabbed Zhou Guangming to death. Mrs. Zhou's face turned purple with anger. She said that she'll never forgive that woman. That's for sure. The Zhou family is a nouveau riche. They have so much money that they don't even know how to spend it. Isn't it easy for them to find someone to deal with a woman? Disfigurement and rape are just a matter of minutes. Upon hearing this, Su Yu was instantly pissed. He stood up, grabbed his wine glass, and smashed it on the ground. With a loud smack, silence filled the room. Suddenly, there was no sound in the room. No one knew what happened to their ancestor. Why did he suddenly change his attitude? Lord Su, what's going on? Wei Liao and Tang Chuan were both shocked. Chapter 323. Su Yu didn't say anything as he walked out with a dark expression on his face. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan didn't dare to delay and followed him out. I'm going back to sleep. You guys don't have to follow me. After saying this, Su Yu got into his black Lamborghini and left. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan were left behind, confused. Is it because Zhao Qingyao left and he doesn't have a partner in bed? Wei Liao guessed. No, he sent Zhao Qingyao away by force. Didn't you see that she didn't want to leave? When she left, her eyes were red and she looked like she had been wronged. Then what's going on? Has Lord Su been abstinent lately? Is he going to be a monk? Has he seen through the world of mortals? No, he just fell for a weirdo. Wei Liao laughed. Tang Chuan was completely confused by her words. After speeding all the way to his private mansion and taking a shower, Su Yu picked up his phone. Keep an eye on that side. If they make a move, stop them. Yes, young master. Su Yu heard that the Zhou family was going to take revenge, so he was afraid that something would happen to Huomin. He immediately ordered people to keep an eye on the Zhou family. Then, he laid on his bed and opened the photo album on his phone. As he looked at the photo he secretly took, his gaze became gentle. I really miss the days of recuperation at Southside. Su Yu smiled as he muttered to himself. After Huomin got off work, he drove straight to school to find Yixin. The siblings ordered some food at a cafeteria on campus and sat down for a while. Sis, Ever since you got promoted, you haven't been so busy. You can still get off work so early? Jing Jixin asked as he happily ate his noodles. Yeah, Southside isn't as busy as the hospital to begin with. There's recuperation here and emergency treatment there. It's not the same thing. That's good. This way you can rest well and have more time to yourself. Huamin took out 3,000 yuan from his bag and placed it on the table. Take it. I'm earning a little more now, so I can give you and Mom more. You're all grown up now, and you even have a girlfriend. There's still a lot of things to spend money on. Ahem. Sis, that's not my girlfriend. He recalled the time when he had bumped into his sister at the movies and saw the girl named Zheng Yanru. He immediately explained, Aya, don't be embarrassed. It's okay. You're a university student anyway. Although he didn't approve of Jixin dating at this time, he wouldn't object either. Huamin wasn't that immature. Sis, she really isn't. Although she has feelings for me, I didn't agree. Moreover, she's quite snobbish. She relies on her beauty to flirt with the boys in the school. I don't like that kind of woman. All right, I'm glad you're so rational. Sis, I don't want any money anymore. I've earned a lot from my part-time job. It's enough to last me until next semester. What kind of part-time job are you doing now? Huamin froze. Jing Jixin scratched his head and smiled embarrassedly. Don't yell at me if I tell you. I used the car that Qin Shu gave me and downloaded an app. When I'm free, I'll be a taxi driver. Business is pretty good. Also, I've partnered with a wedding company. Whenever there's a wedding booking, I'll drive even if I don't have classes. I charge 800 yuan per trip, and the wedding company and I each get 400 yuan. You little brat, you're quite business-minded. Sis, you're not mad. Jing Jixin was a bit worried. Why would I be mad? You don't earn money with your own hands. Mom, and I don't have high expectations for you. You just have to earn your own living when you enter society. Of course, I'm not that kind of wastrel. Sis, don't worry. All right, how are you and Qin Shu? Are you okay? Yeah, we've known each other for so many years, and we get along pretty well. That's good. To be honest, sis, the first time I saw Qin Shu was when he drove you home. I secretly watched from the top of the wall. At that time, I knew that he would definitely become my brother-in-law. Chapter 324. Go away. How old were you back then? Huamin laughed. I was already a teenager back then. I knew everything. Jing Jixin was a very sensible little brother. Compared to those spoiled boys and spoiled prodigals who relied on their parents, he was very sensible. He worked part-time to support the family and was always able to say some heartwarming words to his sister. Huamin felt that any decision he made back then to save his little brother was worth it. After parting ways with Jixin, Huamin sent a WeChat message to Qin Shu. Are you off work yet? Still working. Huamin always replied to his WeChat messages within seconds. Huamin drove all the way to GK. Since he had made too many mistakes recently, he wanted to take the initiative to please Mr. Qin. When Assistant Yang saw Huamin, he immediately recognized her and said, Miss Hua, please come in. Huamin nodded and walked in. The president is still in the conference room. I'll go call him out. Assistant Yang already knew how important this woman was to the president, so he decided to go find her in the conference room himself. Wait, don't go. I'll wait for him here. Okay, what would you like to drink? Coffee, thank you. Qin Shu was in a meeting for almost an hour. When he returned to the president's office, he was completely exhausted. He sat in front of his desk and quietly looked at the data on his laptop. Suddenly, a pair of gentle hands covered his eyes. Then, she mischievously sang, I secretly covered your eyes and let you guess who I am. Qin Shu didn't say anything. Instead, he suddenly came back to his senses and hugged Huamin. Qin Shu was sitting down while Huamin was standing. Therefore, when he hugged Huamin, his head happened to be pressed against Huamin's chest. Their position was quite intimate. You didn't even see who I was, and you just hugged me. How casual are you? Other than you, no woman other than an employee enters my office. All right. You're too smart. I wanted to give you a surprise. How boring. Huamin said as he tried to break free. However, she heard Qin Shu reply in a coquettish tone, Don't move. Let me hug you for a while. Huamin instantly blushed Did Mr. Chin like to hug her so much because he could take advantage of her openly? Sir, the vice president asked me to bring you this to sign. Assistant Yang came in with a document. Then he saw such an erotic scene. Before Qin Chu could speak, Xiao Yang immediately said, "I'm sorry, I went to the wrong house." Then, he immediately retreated. He was afraid that the boss would scold him. It seemed that little Yang had grown a lot after following Qin Chu for so long. Even his brain had become much sharper. Your assistant is quite funny, huh? Seeing Yang's awkward expression, Huamin couldn't help but laugh. He's already restrained himself. He was even funnier when he first came. The young couple hugged each other in the president's office. Outside the door, Yang was scared out of his wits. Luckily, he ran out in time. Otherwise, if he ruined the president's moment, wouldn't he be in deep trouble? The problem was, what he saw just now was the president hugging that girl, right? Io, look at how sticky it is. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, Yang would never believe that his boss would do such a thing. It seemed that no matter how cold or domineering a man was, there would always be an important woman in his heart that he would pamper. Inside the office, Huamin's face was already completely red. This was because Qin Chu's hands were no longer satisfied. At first, he was just hugging her, but now, he was touching her everywhere. In the end, he went all the way up. Just like that, her bra was ripped open. This is the office. Can you mind your image? Huamin reminded him shyly. I just felt that these two bunnies were too stuffy, so I wanted to give them some air. What did you think I wanted to do? Qin Chu, screw you. Of course, Huamin cursed in his heart. Since you've given them some air, shouldn't you close the door for the bunnies? Huamin said angrily. Chapter 325. They don't seem to want to go back. They really want to kiss me. They also want me to bathe them tonight, Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Mr. Qin, you're so elegant even when you're acting like a pervert. Are you sure it's okay? Huamin was speechless. I'm not acting like a pervert when I'm with my wife. That's called having fun. Hurry up and tie it for me, or else don't even think about getting in bed with me tonight. Huamin had no choice but to threaten him. Qin Chu got up reluctantly and slowly pulled up the strap of her bra before he tied it. He even pinched it, making Huamin both embarrassed and angry. Qin Chu, what are you doing? Doing it. Why do you have such a dirty side? Huamin wanted to vomit blood. Everyone has many sides to them. If one always stays the same, then he's a fool. Okay, Huamin actually thought that he made sense. So, did he come to GK just to be taken advantage of? Are you off work yet? I'm so hungry. What do you want to eat? Anything is fine, just don't take advantage of me. I hate people who take advantage of me too. Huamin pouted. Qin Chu smiled as he held her hand. You should be glad that there are still people who are willing to take advantage of you. If no one shows any interest in you, you can cry. Huamin, many employees saw Qin Chu and Huamin take the private elevator downstairs, holding hands. They didn't see Huamin's face clearly because Huamin subconsciously lowered his head and walked quickly. However, they all knew that the big boss of GK had a woman. Oh, it looks like the rumors are fake, a female employee exclaimed. What rumors? Another asked. People have been saying that our president is gay, but it looks like he's not. He likes women too. But I think that woman looks very ordinary. How could she enter the boss's eyes? Maybe there's something special about her that attracts the president. She's so lucky. I'd be happy to be the president's woman for 10 years less. As the female employees chattered, it was time for Jiang Linyue to get off work. Seeing Qin Chu and Huamin's backs, she felt bad. Director Jiang. Upon seeing Jiang Linyue, the girls immediately shut up and didn't dare to say anything else. Jiang Linyue didn't respond and walked out with a grim expression on her face. President Qin is showing off his love in the company without a care in the world. Is he preparing to make his relationship public? Why was Huamin so lucky? Was it just because she knew him in high school? After leaving GK, Qin Chu got into Huamin's car and asked the company's driver to drop him off at the entrance of Imperial Park. The two of them found a Western restaurant. Huamin was okay with Western food. He didn't like it, but he didn't hate it either. However, She knew that Shu loved it because Shu spent 7 years abroad and ate Western food a lot. Sir, how would you like your sirloin steak? 7. Aside from Huamin, Shu had always been a man of few words. Okay, how about you, miss? Miss, how would you like your sirloin steak? Very well done. Thank you. Miss, very well done will be overdone. It'll affect the taste. The waiter helplessly reminded her. It's okay. I like it very well done. Okay, please wait a moment. They ordered 2 steaks. Shu asked for medium well, but Huamin asked for well done, shocking the waiter. Honey, it's my treat today. What else do you want to eat? So you're being so generous. Do you have something to ask of me? Shu asked slowly as he sipped on his red wine. Chapter 326. Ahem. Mr. Chin's foresight is amazing. Huamin couldn't help but admire Chu's intelligence. He always saw through her little tricks. What is it? Tell me. It's nothing. My mom has been nagging me to move back, but it's impossible. After all, we're married. I just want to go back and spend a few days with her and Ji. Okay. Chu nodded. You agree? Huamin didn't expect Chu to be so easy to talk to. Yeah, go back and stay for a few days. Buy more things for your mom and brother. If you don't have enough money, I'll ask the finance department to give you more. No, it's enough. I already have a lot of money. Huamin spent most of her time using her own salary card. Ever since she was promoted, her salary had increased a lot. Her food and clothes were all taken care of by Chu, so she didn't have much to spend on. As for the 50 million yuan Chu gave her and the 1 million yuan monthly salary, she didn't use a single cent. Although Chu didn't want his wife to go back to her parents' home, he could understand Huamin's feelings. Therefore, even if he didn't want her to go, he didn't say it out loud. He just wanted to make Huamin happy. The two of them enjoyed the hot pot. When they got home, Chu got a call from the company and immediately became busy. Huamin, on the other hand, took a shower and went to bed. She lay down, read a book, and listened to some music. It was quite relaxing. The next day, after work, Huamin bought a lot of fresh vegetables and fruits and went back to the old house. Ji still had class at night and wasn't home yet. Yang Meirong stewed a chicken and stir-fried a few vegetables. The mother and daughter had a sumptuous dinner. Just then, the front door was pushed open and 2 people walked in. The one in front was Annie Wu from next door. Huamin didn't see the person behind her clearly. Oh, you just started eating. Okay. Yang Meirong got up and got a stool for Annie Wu to sit on. Huamin, you're back. Auntie Wu smiled and greeted Huamin warmly. Auntie Wu, Huamin greeted. What a coincidence. Our Xiao Yang is on leave these 2 days, and he always says that it's boring. Now that Huamin is back, you two have something to talk about. Xiao Yang is back. Yang Meirong glanced at the man behind Auntie Wu. Huamin also looked over and felt a little surprised. After not seeing Su Liang for so many years, he had changed a lot. Because they were neighbors, they had known each other since they were young. Su Liang was a boy who didn't like to talk much. Because he was much older than Huamin, they didn't have much interaction. Later, it was said that Su Liang went overseas after he went to university. He only came back after graduation and was said to be working in a bank. Now that he was 30 years old, he still did not have a girlfriend. This made Auntie Wu very worried. Hello, Auntie Yang. Su Yang greeted Yang Meirong with a smile. Su Yang was 1.78 meters tall and had a square face. He wasn't exactly handsome, but his facial features were well-defined. He wore a black suit and looked like a typical bank employee, fair and chubby. Plus, Annie Wu was born with good looks, so Su Yang naturally had a sense of superiority. Have you two eaten? Why don't you have some more? I stewed chicken that Mian bought today. I heard it's a stupid chicken that was fed with corn. It tastes good to me, Yang Meirong said warmly. It's okay, we're both done. All right, there's a white car parked outside. Is it yours? Annie Wu looked at the white Volkswagen CC outside, a little surprised. Before Huamin could say anything, Yang Meirong answered, That's Mian's car. Chapter 327. Oh my, That's amazing. Mian even bought a car. Annie Wu praised with a smile. Huamin didn't want to be too high profile, so she only nodded in response. I bought it with a down payment. It's too far from work, so it's more convenient to get around. To her surprise, Su Liang interrupted. This isn't an ordinary car, especially since yours is imported. The engine is even more high-end than the ones in China. The total cost is close to 300,000 yuan. That expensive? Mian, you're amazing now. Although Andy didn't know much about cars, she knew that her son's Audi A4 was only around 300,000 yuan. So, when she heard that Huamin's car cost 300,000 yuan, she was shocked. I don't know much about cars. A friend recommended it to me, so I bought it, haha. Huamian didn't want to show off her car. After all, that wasn't her style. Her mother, on the other hand, was very enthusiastic and interrupted. Mian has been promoted to head nurse, so she makes around 10,000 yuan a month. That's great. I heard that everyone at Southside is rich. Mian, didn't you have a rich boyfriend? Huamin didn't know how to answer Annie Wu's gossipy question. She didn't like to lie, but she couldn't say anything in front of her mother. At the very least, she couldn't let her mother know about her and Chu. So, she shook her head. No, most of the people at Southside are patients. We're medical staff, so we don't interact much outside of work. That's true. Mian has always been an honest girl, unlike the girls out there who wear heavy makeup and short skirts and shorts. It's good that way. As they chatted, Huamin was full. Just as he was about to get up and go into the room to tidy up his bed, Annie Wu said, Liang, go take a walk with Mian in the courtyard. Didn't you say that you have a lot of questions about the hospital? Yeah, Mian, go take a walk with Liang and have a good chat. After receiving Annie Wu's hint, Huamin's mother was very enthusiastic. It was obvious that he was trying to match the two of them together. Huamin was speechless. Su Liang, on the other hand, was quite proactive. He said to Huamin, let's go. Huamin had no choice but to get up and follow Su Liang out. Annie Wu mysteriously asked Yang Meirong, Sister, what do you think of my son? Little Yang, you're a good kid. It's just that our family isn't well off. We can't match up to your family. What are you talking about? We've known each other for so many years. How could I dislike you? At first, I didn't think too much about it. I just thought that Mian had a boyfriend, but didn't Ji Xin say that they broke up last time? A few days ago, I called Liang and asked him what he thought. Sure enough, he was very satisfied after seeing Mian's photos. So, he asked for a leave of absence and came back home. I was going to ask you to call Mian back and let the two kids meet, but I didn't expect her to come back today. Look, it's all fate. Annie Wu was a quick talker. She loved to act as a matchmaker, and her words were even more eloquent than a song. As long as the kids agree, I have no objections. I'll watch Leon grow up. He's a good person. That's good. Then let's wait for the good news. Annie Wu was elated. She also thought that her son would definitely catch Huamin's eye on the way. Huamin didn't say much. After all, he hadn't seen Su Liang for many years, and all of his memories were from when he was young. I heard from my mom that you work at Southside Recuperation Center? Yeah. Huamin nodded. Are you tired from work? How's the environment? Su Liang's questions were all methodical, and it was obvious that he was a proper child. Chapter 328. It's okay, it's not that tiring. Southside is more high-end, so the environment and facilities are pretty good. That's great. I heard from my mom that you're a hardworking person. Even though you didn't do well in university, you've been working hard ever since you graduated and have been promoted. I like people like you. I think you're full of positive energy. Thank you for the compliment. You should know about my job. I'm now the deputy director of the bank's credit department. My salary has increased a few times, but that's not my final goal. My goal is to become the director of the credit department in 5 years. It might not be easy, but I'll work hard. That's great. It's good to have a dream. Good luck. Even though Huamin had always felt that Su Liang was just a passerby, he really appreciated his positive attitude towards life. Su Liang smiled. Swimming against the current is a whale shark. Swimming with the current is a dead fish. Haha. That's an interesting theory. By the way, I heard that you and your boyfriend broke up. Yeah, we broke up. Annie Wu saw him too. Do you plan to start a new relationship soon? Or do you plan to get married? Su Liang probed. Not yet. Huamin seemed to understand what he wanted to say, so he immediately interrupted him. Really? That's a pity. My mom said that we're perfect for each other. After all, she watched us grow up. Our characters are guaranteed. Plus, we both have stable jobs. If we get married, our quality of life will be very high. Ha! Thank you for your love, but it's hard to say when it comes to relationships. Sometimes, people who aren't suitable for each other end up together. If they're suitable for each other, there might not be any follow-up. There's a small bar up ahead. Let's go there. Su Liang seemed unsatisfied. Sorry, I have something to do tonight. I'll go back first. Okay then, what's your WeChat? I'll add you. Su Liang took out his phone and asked. I don't use WeChat, and I don't have time. What about your phone number? Su Liang didn't give up. Su Liang, I'm sorry. I don't think we need to exchange contact information. I don't think it's possible between us. Huamin's direct rejection surprised Su Liang. In the past, every time he went on a blind date, it was those little girls who took the initiative. After all, he had a good job and a good family background. He had originally thought that he would definitely win over Huamin, but he did not expect that Huamin would be so straightforward. Why do you have to be so certain? What if it's possible in the future? Su Liang was a little unwilling. Huamin actually wanted to tell Su Liang that he was already married. That's impossible. I'm sorry. My words may have been a little hurtful. I know that Annie Wu meant well, and you're a good person, but I also have my own thoughts. Please forgive me. However, if Su Liang told Annie Wu about it, Annie Wu would definitely tell her mother about it. Therefore, she decided not to do it. Hee. All right then. I won't force you if that's the case. Su Liang smiled bitterly. Then let's go back. Since he had already made things clear, Huamin did not want to delay any further. After walking with Su Liang for a short while, Huamin returned home while Annie Wu left with Su Liang. Huamin sat down on a small stool beside his mother and helped his mother rinse the dirty clothes. Yang Meiyerong casually asked as she washed the clothes in her hands, How was your conversation with Su Liang? Chapter 329. Mom, he's not my type. How old are you? Do you still like him? How can there be so many things to like in life? Over time, it's all about family. Haven't you heard of the saying? After marriage, the relationship between husband and wife is like the left hand and the right hand, both worn away by daily necessities. Even so, I still hope that I don't get married because we're compatible, but because of love. Hearing her daughter say this, Yang Meiyerong wasn't too happy, but she didn't force it. At night, lying in bed, Huamin sighed and posted on his WeChat friend circle. If one day you get married, I hope it's not because we're compatible, but because of love. It was such a romantic thing, but her Jixin had ruined it. He replied below, Sis, I think men are like the food in the cafeteria. Even though it tastes bad, it's still gone if you're late. Zhu Lingling also had Jing Jixin's WeChat, so she could see the conversation between the siblings. She immediately commented on Jixin's post. Why do I feel like you're saying this to me? Of course not, Sister Ling. I wouldn't dare say that to you. Huamin smiled and replied, You two seem to be having a lot of fun under my comments. Have you paid protection fees yet? Are you that arrogant? Before she could read the reply, her phone suddenly showed that she had a video call. On the screen was a picture of my dearest husband, accompanied by a picture of Qin Shu. He was so handsome that he looked like he was about to bleed. However, she didn't remember leaving a comment on Qin Shu. What was going on? She anxiously accepted the video call and lowered the volume. Luckily, Huamin's room was quite far from her mother's. Otherwise, what would she do if her mother suddenly came in? Hello, Mr. Qin, Huamin mischievously greeted. Have you eaten dinner yet? Qin Shu's voice was as gentle as ever. He looked like he was still at the company. He was only wearing a dark gray casual shirt, and the diamonds on his cuffs were especially eye-catching. If someone else wore this kind of equipment, they would look like a nouveau riche. However, Qin Shu exuded the aura of a noble. It had to be said that clothes weren't important, but face was. Yes, my mom made chicken stew. It's super delicious. I ate 1.5 bowls of rice. Not bad. Chin Shu smiled. Are you still at work? Yes. I still have a meeting to attend. Why have you become a workaholic when I'm not at home? Don't you know to go home and rest early? Even if I go home, I'll be alone in an empty room. Chin Shu answered straightforwardly. Well, Chin Shu's tone was completely like a little wife who had been bullied. Full of grief. Ahem. Hold on, I'll be back soon. I miss you very much. Chin Shu stared at Min on the phone. She was wearing a light purple nightgown with a Mickey Mouse printed on it. She looked adorable. Hearing Chin Shu's sudden words, Min felt his cheeks begin to heat up slightly. Don't you have anything to say to me? Chin Shu was clearly displeased. He was speechless as he looked at his silly wife, who didn't respond after hearing him say that he missed her. I miss you very much, too. Only very much? Mr. Chin objected again. I miss you very, very much. I miss you to death. Are you satisfied with my answer? That's more like it. Move the camera away. Don't get too close to your face. What? Are you sick of looking at my face for too long? Min chuckled. Move the camera away. Hearing Chin Shu's command, Min had no choice but to move the phone away from his face. He wanted to take the whole picture. Lower your collar, Chin Shu said in all seriousness. Min. Chapter 330. No wonder he told her to stay away. So that was what he was thinking? Even if he couldn't touch her, he still wanted to look at her? Mr. Chin's taste was quite strange. Okay, since he said that he missed her, she decided to go all out. She held the camera in one hand. With the other hand, she pulled her collar lower, revealing her fair collarbones. Lower. Chin Shu didn't seem satisfied. Min didn't say anything. She pulled down her collar again, and it lowered further. She was about to be exposed. This seemed to be her limit. Lower it. Chin Shu, you bastard. Min finally couldn't take it anymore and exploded. Any lower and she would really expose herself, okay? She was a leak maniac, so she wouldn't do something so boring. Seeing that Min was angry, Chin Shu couldn't help but smile slightly. He knew that his Mian would have this kind of reaction. It was too fun. You're gonna break me. Do you know that? Min protested. Why would I? I haven't even started playing yet. Chin Shu smiled mischievously. Goodbye. Our friendship is over. Then, without waiting for Chin Shu to speak, Min immediately hung up. Min thought that Chin Shu would call immediately. Wasn't that how you coax your wife? However, he was greatly disappointed. Chin Shu didn't call for a long time. Maybe he was already busy. Min comforted herself to hide the slight disappointment in her heart. It was already 10 p.m., but she didn't feel sleepy at all. Maybe it was because she used to work night shifts, so Min got out of bed and took out her childhood photo album. Back then, cell phones weren't popular yet, and old photo albums were still popular. One by one, graduation photos spread out in front of her eyes. She missed it very much. Sometimes, she felt that the 10 years from the age of 14 to 24 was as long as an eternity. Too many things had happened, from the time she met Chin Shu to the time they parted. In the end, after going around in circles, they ended up together again. He could only sigh at the miraculous nature of fate. It was already 11:30 when he finally put the album away. Min actually felt a little hungry. She had planned to cook a bowl of instant noodles, but she realized that there wasn't a single bag of instant noodles in the house. Min's mother had recently become obsessed with maintaining her health, so she had stopped buying fast food. Min was surprisingly hungry. She was scrolling through her WeChat moments out of boredom. Then she saw that Gao Ran was actually eating kebabs. 9 pictures, all of which were barbecued. How annoying, Zhu Lingling commented. It's already so late and you're still eating and drinking. You're going to die of obesity. Gao Ran immediately replied. This young master has a special physique. No matter how much I eat, I won't get fat. Thank you. Hey, can you two stop arguing? I'm so hungry. Is it really okay to post pictures like this in the middle of the night? Seeing Min's reply, Gao Ran was immediately amused. Are you going to ask your wife Khan to cook supper for you? I'm at my mother's house. Thank you. Haha, looks like someone's going to be alone tonight. Gao Ran had a gloating look on his face. In the end, Huamin looked at Gao Ran's pictures. The more she looked at them, the hungrier she got. She stole a picture of barbecued chicken wings and posted it on her WeChat moments. If someone can pack a chicken wing for me right now, I'll thank all of their ancestors. Actually, she was really just venting her anger. 15 minutes later, Huamin's phone rang. Hello? Come out. It was Qin Chu's domineering voice. Now, Huamin thought she heard wrong. I'll give you 20 seconds. After speaking, Qin Chu hung up the phone. Huamin immediately crawled out of bed and walked out. In order not to disturb her mother, she deliberately wore flat slippers. At the entrance of the courtyard was indeed Qin Chu's Maybach. Why are you here? Huamin was pleasantly surprised to see Qin Chu. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He handed over the lunchbox in his hand. Here. Chapter 331. What is it? Huamin asked curiously as she opened the box. Inside were 4 big golden chicken wings. Oh my God. Did you see my WeChat moments? Yeah. Then it's too late. I remember I posted it less than 15 minutes ago, and the wings took 20 minutes to roast. Including the distance, it's not even enough time. Do you have the ability to predict the future? Huamin was completely shocked. Qin Chu said faintly, when I was driving here, I passed by Gao Ran's restaurant, so I took the chicken wings he was going to eat. Huamin, honey, you're so awesome. Huamin would never have guessed that the chicken wings were stolen from Gao Ran's mouth. No wonder he was so fast. Get in the car and eat. It's cold outside. Qin Chu reminded her. Huamin nodded and immediately got into the passenger seat. Then, she began to eat without a care in the world. As she ate, she even licked her oily fingers. Qin Chu had a helpless expression on his face as he carefully wiped her hands with a napkin. Here, have a bite. It's delicious. Huamin handed over the chicken wings. Qin Chu lowered her head and carefully took a bite. Is it good? Yeah. Qin Chu elegantly wiped the corners of her mouth and nodded. That's awesome. Honey, you're the best. Huamin was in extremely good mood after getting what she wanted in the middle of the night. Seeing how happy Huamin was, Qin Chu was naturally happy as well. He always knew that his girl didn't want much, and that a small touch like this was enough to satisfy her. Eat slowly, drink some water first. Qin Chu handed her a bottle of Evian. Huamin took 2 big gulps, and then devoured the 4 chicken wings like a hurricane. After eating and drinking to her heart's content, Huamin leaned her head on Qin Chu's shoulder, looking very satisfied. Mr. Qin, thank you. For what? Thank you for taking care of me in every possible way after we started living together. You took care of me like a child. I almost lost the ability to take care of myself. We're husband and wife. This is what I should do. I really don't dare to imagine how disappointed I would be if we were to separate one day and I didn't have you by my side. That day won't come. No, you're wrong. When we were born, we were the same person. It's impossible for us to leave at the same time. If that day really comes, I hope you can leave before me, because I can take care of you until you leave. If I leave first, I won't be at ease leaving you alone in this world. Huamin asked jokingly. What you're saying is that if you're going to die one day, you're going to kill me first because you're afraid that I won't be able to take care of myself. Is that right? That's a good idea. That's not it. I want to live longer than you. Then, when you die, I can find a retired old man to accompany me. Then you won't be able to find an old man as good-looking as me. After all, there aren't many like him in the world. Here we go again. Huamin knew that Mr. Qin's Sunderside was acting up again. Why are you here so late at night? I just finished a meeting. I saw you post on WeChat, so I drove over. If I didn't post on WeChat, you wouldn't have come, right? No, I would have come whether you posted on WeChat or not. Don't walk back and forth in the future. You have work tomorrow. Huamin actually felt bad for Qin Chu. GK had a lot of work to do, and Qin Chu had to personally handle many projects. She knew how precious his time was. However, no matter how busy he was, he would still try his best to spend time with her. She wasn't stupid, and she saw everything clearly. In the beginning, she hated the Qin family and Qin Shu because of Uncle Jing's death. However, after living with Qin Shu for the past few months, Qin Shu treated her so well that the hatred in her heart gradually faded away. She even wondered if she should draw a clear line between the two of them. After all, Uncle Jing's death was Qin Shu's parents' fault, not his. Although she said that, the knot in her heart was still there. However, neither of them mentioned it. Mian. Qin Shu turned his head and whispered into her ear. Yeah, I want to find a chance to confess to your mother and ask for her forgiveness. I don't want to hide our marriage for the rest of our lives. It's not fair to either of us. Chapter 332. After Huamin heard this, her expression changed slightly. I know what you're afraid of. You're afraid that your mom will react violently. Yes, my mom definitely won't be able to handle it. But have you thought about the fact that we can't keep this a secret forever? We're husband and wife. This is already a fact. I know. Huamin lowered her head and her voice weakened. What my parents did back then was unforgivable. I'm trying my best to make it up to them. I can treat your family well for the rest of my life. I'll treat your mother like my own mother and your little brother like my own. I think that if she knew how I feel about you, she would understand. But my mom's blood pressure is high and her health isn't good. I'm afraid that if she gets too emotional, she'll fall sick. That will be troublesome. Uncle Jing is no longer here. I don't want anything to happen to her. What if we talk about it in a more subtle way? Qin Shu asked tentatively. No matter how bad it is, it won't be easy. My mom is too hostile towards you, let alone your parents. Huamin was being honest. It seems like we have to plan this a little more. Qin Shu sighed slightly. Huamin leaned into Qin Shu's arms and comforted. Don't worry too much. I'll find time to slowly infiltrate her and change her mind. I know. Qin Shu lovingly patted Huamin's head. After accompanying Qin Shu for a little while in the car, Huamin entered the courtyard and Qin Shu drove away. Lying in bed, she still couldn't fall asleep. It wasn't that she hadn't thought about the problem that Qin Shu mentioned. However, based on her mother's current attitude, it seemed impossible for her to accept Qin Shu. On the other hand, she couldn't accept Qin Shu's parents either. However, this was a difficult problem to solve. After all, they were Qin Shu's biological parents. She couldn't possibly avoid them for the rest of her life just because they were married. She couldn't possibly avoid them and become complete strangers. Wasn't this unrealistic? It seemed that she had to think of a way to solve her mother's problem first. As long as her mother accepted it, everything would be easy. The next morning, young Meiyerong prepared breakfast with soy milk and youtiao. Huamin ate with a heavy heart. Drive slowly when you get to work later. There's always maintenance on this side of the road. It's full of potholes. It's very difficult to drive. I know, Mom. You don't have to give Jixin too much money. Just give him enough to spend. You can't spoil him. Yang Meiyerong rambled on, but Huamin's mind wasn't here. She looked at her mother tentatively and asked, Mom, do you still hate the Qin family? Of course. I hate them to the core. I wish I could skin them alive. Yang Meiyerong was visibly agitated at the mention of the Qin couple. What I mean is, you're old now, and your health isn't good. I don't want you to live in resentment. Uncle Jing is no longer here, so you don't have to feel so pressured. Huamin put it very tactfully. She wanted to see her mother's attitude. Yang Meiyerong immediately turned around to look at Huamin and scolded, I'll never forget how they used their power and money to kill your Uncle Jing. They even hired a stupid driver to be their scapegoat. What's the point of that? Who doesn't know that they sent the driver? How could they compensate him with so much money? Could any amount of money be exchanged for a life? I'll give them 1,000,000 yuan and kill that old bastard Qin human with a car. Ask them if they're willing to do that. Yang Meirong's voice was fierce, and Huamin knew that she guessed right. Mom, if only I was the one who killed him. Huamin was filled with guilt. That's not what I meant. Whether it's you or your Uncle Jing, you're both important to me. I, Yang Meiyerong, will never forgive the Qin family. Unless I die, I won't forgive them. In the end, Yang Meiyerong looked at Huamin and asked coldly, Don't tell me you still have some hope for that kid from the Qin family. Chapter 333. Upon hearing her mother's words, Huamin quickly shook her head. I didn't. It's best if you didn't. Remember, any man in the world can marry you, but that kid from the Qin family can't. Between the two of you, it's not just a life, it's also 7 years of grudges. Huamin knew that her mother hated everything about the Qin family. Back then, the Qin family humiliated her mother. The neighbors mocked her for an entire year. Rumors were scary at times. Everyone said that Yang Meirong was indecent when she was young and that her daughter was a vixen. She was a bitch who seduced rich kids at a young age and even planned to elope with them. Back then, the failed elopement became a curse in the hearts of both families. Back then, Qin Shu wanted to take Huamin with him to America. Their passports were already prepared, and they were just waiting for their visas to be approved. Later on, for some reason, Qin Shu's father found out, and Uncle Jing's tragedy happened. In the end, Huamin and Qin Shu cut off all ties, and Qin Shu went to America alone. Huamin, on the other hand, faced all the rumors. With her grades, she could have gone to the best medical school in Jing City. She could have applied for scholarships at medical schools abroad, but Uncle Jing's death put all her plans on hold. She took on the responsibility of taking care of a family. It wasn't easy for her mother, but it was even harder for her. No one lived as carefully as she did. If Qin Shu didn't come back, she would have been an ordinary woman for the rest of her life. Mom, I know, don't worry, Huamin said vaguely and tried her best to cover it up. After dinner, Huamin drove out of the old house. She felt uneasy the whole way and almost ran a red light at several junctions. Huamin stepped on the brakes at a fork in the road near the overpass. She looked up at the red light and frowned slightly. The red light was counting down to 300 seconds. Was there a mistake? 300 seconds of red light? This was the first time in her life that she saw it. The longest red light she saw before was 90 seconds, and that was in the city center. Why would there be such a crazy red light on an overpass with no traffic? Huamin was flabbergasted. Then, she took out her phone and took a screenshot. Not far away, a black Lexus was parked on the side of the road. Because of the black glass, people from the outside couldn't see what was happening outside. Suyu sat in the luxurious back seat with a can of Coke in his hand. He stared at the woman in the white car without moving. He missed her, but he didn't have the guts. It was not because he was a coward, but because he was afraid that she would reject him again. Was it because he likes? He had been injured for a few days, and even though he drank with Wei Liao and the others every day, he still missed Huamian. Ever since he met Huamin, he had been completely abstinent. Even he was surprised. No matter how beautiful the women were, he couldn't get any interest. Even if someone as beautiful as Zhao Qingya stood naked in front of him, he still didn't have any desire. So he thought he was sick with a strange disease called Huamin. After struggling for a long time, Suyu decided that Huamin had to pass by this intersection every day. He ordered the traffic police to set the longest red light there. As expected, it blocked Huamin's way. Huamin looked down at his phone and played with it. He didn't know that someone was looking at him. 300 seconds passed in a blink of an eye. The cars behind them kept honking their horns to remind them. Huamin immediately put the car in gear and drove away. Suyu muttered to himself, 300 seconds is too short. Next time, I should ask them to make it 900 seconds. GK headquarters. As soon as Qin Shu finished his morning meeting and returned to his office, he received a call from Gao Ran. What is it? He had a feeling that nothing good would happen if someone called him while he was at work. Calm down and let me finish. Okay, go ahead. The police just issued an arrest warrant. I'm personally leading the team. The person we're arresting is Huamin. Qin Shu's face immediately turned cold. Arrest warrant? What the hell was that? Chapter 334. Arrest warrant? Qin Shu repeated in a low voice, making sure that he didn't hear wrong. Yes. Arrest my Mian? Qin Shu confirmed again. Yes, your wife will mean. Gao Ran was also speechless. To be honest, when he saw the arrest warrant, he was so shocked that he almost peed his pants. Normally, people who received arrest warrants from the higher-ups were mostly wanted criminals who had committed heinous crimes. especially since he was in the first criminal police unit of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, which was equivalent to the Major Crimes Division. So, did my wife commit murder or arson? Qin was very unhappy. He really couldn't imagine what would make the criminal police unit of the Municipal Public Security Bureau arrest someone with an arrest warrant, although they hadn't done so yet. Neither. I heard that she offended the Zhou family a few days ago. Don't tell me you don't know about this. That coal mining nouveau riche. Qin face was full of disdain. He didn't even have the time to deal with them, but they took the initiative to come to him. They really didn't want to live anymore. Yes, it's him. His family is filthy rich, so I don't know what kind of connections he has with the higher-ups. They said that he submitted evidence of his crime. Your wife, Huamin, used a murder weapon to injure young Master Zhou. She's still in the hospital, so the higher-ups want to arrest your wife. Bring her back and lock her up until her trial in a few days. She's really asking for it. Qin face was gloomy. So what should we do now? Gao Ran asked carefully. I'll see who dares to touch her. Qin words were full of threats. Big brother, of course I know you can't really arrest her, but how should I deal with this? I think you should call my dad directly. Otherwise, if I plead for a woman, my dad will think that it's my personal business. That's all. After speaking, Qin hung up before Gao Ran could say anything. 5 minutes later, Gao Ran received a call from the bureau chief. Xiao Gao, don't arrest him yet. Your dad just called me and said that this person has a special identity. Huh, don't arrest the wrong person. Oh, I see. Well, director, I'll wait for your news. Gao Ran pretended not to know about it. Sure enough, Qin phone call was more useful than his because his father had liked Qin since he was young. After talking to Gao Ran's father on the phone, Qin sat in his office and pondered for a long time. Although Huamian was fine now and didn't need to be taken away, he couldn't delay any longer and had to think of a plan. The Zhou family seemed to have already made their move, Assistant Yang. Boss, what is it? Cancel all business trips for the next week and reduce the itinerary. Sir, GK's resort project in a neighboring city is launching in 3 days, and we need you to attend. I have more important things to do. Upon hearing Qin words, Assistant Yang immediately understood and didn't say anything else. Understood, sir. Then, he turned around and left. 5:20 p.m., Southside Recuperation Center. Hello. May I ask which one of you is Miss Huamin? I am. Huamin turned her head at the on-call desk and saw a man who looked like a delivery man. This is your package. Please sign here. The man took out a document and handed it to Huamin. After signing it, Huamin thanked him and took the package back to her office. Looking at the thin document, her eyelids twitched inexplicably. She had an indescribable premonition that made her feel very depressed. As expected, when she saw the document clearly, her expression changed. There were 2 big words written on it, subpoena. This was a court subpoena. So was she being sued? Chapter 335. When she saw the name of the plaintiff, Zhou Guangming, she instantly understood everything. The Zhou family had indeed made a move. They had sued Huamin for aggravated assault. A week later, the trial would be held at the Provincial High Court. Look, even the court was so high and mighty. The Provincial High Court obviously took this matter very seriously. Aggravated assault? I'm going to laugh at him. I didn't even sue him for drugging Ling Ling and attempted rape. Huamin's lips twitched. She wasn't afraid. She just thought that the Zhou family was quite interesting. If they were so rich and powerful, why didn't they just hire someone to deal with her? Of course, the Zhou family had thought about it. But what she didn't know was that the Zhou family didn't even know where to start. Because behind Huamin, other than Qin power, Su Yu and Hua Xiqian's people were also protecting her. That protective wall was almost as strong as the Great Wall of China. The Zhou family also pulled some strings and got an arrest warrant. But unfortunately, it fell into the hands of Gao Ran. Then, Mr. Qin solved it with one phone call. When the Zhou family found out, they went crazy. So, they went to the court and issued a summons. It was obvious that they were going to go to court. Look at what they'd done to her. Huamin picked up the summons and muttered to herself, "Fine, the provincial high court, and the Zhou family. I'll just deal with whatever comes my way. After work, Huamin packed her things and was about to leave. She saw a middle-aged rich woman in her 40s or 50s walk in with a fierce look on her face. "You're Huamin." "I am. I'm Zhou Guangming's mother." The rich woman had a fierce look on her face. Her body was fat, but she was dressed in luxury brands. "What's the matter?" Huamin didn't care. She didn't panic just because it was Mrs. Zhou. In fact, she didn't have anything to panic about. It wasn't like she did anything wrong. In her opinion, Zhou Guangming deserved it. He was a little skinny, so the injuries were light. She was already very merciful. "Okay? You're the one who hurt my son?" Mrs. Zhou asked angrily. "The premise is that you should ask him what he has done." Huamin's voice was indifferent. "No matter what fifth son did, you have no right to do that. Who do you think you are? You're just a lowly commoner. How dare you hurt someone from my Zhou clan? He's really courting death. That's not right. I haven't lived long enough. How is that courting death? Besides, the word courting death is more appropriate for your son. If he didn't court death, he wouldn't have died. There are so many people, but why is he fine? Is there a problem with his character?" During the confrontation with Mrs. Zhou, Huamin did not feel any pressure at all. Instead, she was sharp-tongued and sarcastic. Mrs. Zhou was so angry that her face turned pale. "You have a sharp tongue. Do you see the subpoena?" "I saw it." Huamin picked up the summons and waved it, seemingly unconcerned. "In a week, I will send you straight to jail. Don't even think about getting out for 10 years. Whether you pay us money or kneel down to apologize, we won't accept it. Just you wait." "Mrs. Zhou, you're overthinking things. Why would I apologize to you for no reason? I didn't do anything wrong. Don't even think about paying us money. I've always valued money more than my life. You can still jump around for 7 more days. When the time comes, I want to see with my own eyes how you're going to jail." After speaking, Mrs. Zhou turned around and left. 2 people who looked like bodyguards followed behind her. Huamin chuckled. So, this middle-aged woman came to her just to tell her that she was going to jail in 7 days? She was speechless. No wonder Zhou Guangming was so retarded. It seemed like his mother's IQ was also damaged. The Zhou family was rich and powerful, but her husband was not to be trifled with either. Huamin had a feeling that a confrontation between money and power was about to take place. Did they want to see who would win in the end? Of course, there was no suspense. What a joke. In Sea City, she didn't think that anyone could compete with Qin Shu in terms of power and money. She had never thought about relying on her husband before, but at this moment, she suddenly had a thought. It was great to have such an awesome husband. As soon as Zhu Lingling got off the plane, she saw Gao Ran's text. "Huamin got into big trouble because of you. Did you know that?" Zhu Lingling immediately lost her cool when she saw the text. She immediately called Gao Ran back. What happened to Huamin? Chapter 336. You don't seem to know anything. Gao Ran probed. "I know your ass. Hurry up and tell me what's going on." Ever since she found out that Huamin had lied to her, Zhu Lingling had been feeling uneasy. Deng Kai had also warned her, but she had been living peacefully for the past few days. However, the more peaceful things were, the more uneasy she felt. It was like the calm before the storm. She had already blacklisted Deng Kai, so she didn't have any sources of information. On top of that, Huamin was a wicked guy. He wouldn't have told her about this and made her worry. This wasn't the first time Gao Ran had done something like this. News of Zhou Guangming, Zhu Lingling, and Huamin's incident at Seductive Fox had already spread throughout the upper-class circle. 20 minutes later, Gao Ran drove his Jaguar to pick up Zhu Lingling, and the two of them found a restaurant. They ordered a lot of dishes, but Zhu Lingling wasn't in the mood to eat. Gao Ran slowly told Zhu Lingling everything that happened. Zhu Lingling's eyes instantly turned red. "Hey, don't cry. I'm not used to seeing you so weak." Gao Ran didn't expect Zhu Lingling to cry without saying anything. He thought that she would curse at the Zhou family's grandson for at least half an hour. "I dragged Huamin into this. It's all my fault." Zhu Lingling's voice was choked up, and her eyes were filled with guilt. When she heard that the Zhou family had issued an arrest warrant and were suing Huamin at the provincial high court, she felt really bad. She felt like there was a huge rock weighing down on her heart, making it hard for her to breathe. Don't worry, I'm not done yet. Although the arrest warrant was issued, no one was arrested. Qinshu called my dad, and my dad settled it. You don't have to worry about the prosecution. With Qinshu around, no one can touch Huamin. I know Qinshu is capable, but he also implicated Huamin. I was the one who caused this. It has nothing to do with her. I really regret it. If only I didn't send her a WeChat message that day, then the Zhou family wouldn't be so angry. Gao Ren immediately rolled his eyes at Zhu Lingling. What are you talking about? If Huamin hadn't gone that day, wouldn't you have been harmed by that scumbag Zhou Guangming? But I'd rather do that than implicate Huamin. She's my best friend. I don't want to hurt her. Huamin won't think that way. She won't blame you. Gao Ran tried to persuade her. Boss, give me a bottle of Mao Tai. What do you want, sis? Sister, Gao Ran panicked. I'm depressed. I want to drink some wine. Baijiu is too strong. Why don't you drink beer? No, I want to drink Mao Tai. You don't have to accompany me. I'll drink by myself. Zhu Lingling made a bold statement. Although she said that, Gao Ran was the one who arranged the meal. He paid the bill, so naturally, he was also the one who accompanied her. In the end, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling each drank half a kilogram of Mao Tai and a ton of beer. When they walked out of the restaurant, they couldn't even tell which way was which. You can't drink and drive. I can't break the law, call the price. Gao Ran burped and pulled Zhu Lingling to his car. Then, he dialed a number. Hello, is this 110? Give me the price. 15 minutes later, at the Municipal Public Security Bureau, fortunately, the person on duty was from their branch. If it was someone from another branch, how bad would the impact be? The captain of the Municipal Public Security Bureau was drunk in the middle of the night and actually called 110 to ask for the price. Was this really not deliberately disrupting public order? Looking at the two drunken people, the comrades from the branch were also speechless. Boss, what should we do? This is the first time I've seen Boss drink with a woman so late. Are you trying to hit on her? Another policeman asked. In the end, everyone came to the conclusion that they were sent to a 4-star hotel near the branch. Boss, this is all we can help you with. The policeman placed Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran on the luxurious bed, closed the door, and left. The next morning, Zhu Lingling turned over in a daze and hugged something. She slowly opened her eyes. When she saw clearly, she screamed. Hearing her scream, Gao Ran also woke up in a daze. When he saw clearly, he was also dumbfounded. Chapter 337. What's going on? Why are you here? Zhu Lingling screamed. How would I know? I was going to ask you that. Gao Ran was also shocked. He was so drunk last night that he couldn't remember much. He only knew that he went out to eat and drink with Zhu Lingling, and then she was in a bad mood. But the question was, how did they end up at the hotel? The worst part was that they were both naked. Zhu Lingling looked down at herself. She didn't even have underwear on. She was crazy. Gao Ran, you pervert. You took advantage of me. Sis, even if I wanted to take advantage of you, I wouldn't do it with someone like you, okay? Bullshit, I'm so pretty. You must have been planning this for a long time. I was wondering why you took me out for dinner out of the blue. I didn't know you were so despicable. Sis, I swear to God, if I wanted to sleep with you, I would have done it years ago. I wouldn't have waited until you were old. Who are you calling old? Zhu Lingling raised her hand to hit Gao Ran. However, she felt a gust of cold wine down there and almost exposed herself. She immediately pulled the blanket over herself again. Perhaps she used too much force, so she pulled the blanket over herself. Gao Ran was left out in the cold, and his entire body turned white. Do you have any morals? Can't you give me half? I'm not wearing any clothes. No one wants to look at you. I want to look at you, okay? Gao Ran was speechless. What they didn't know was that the police officer took off his clothes last night. The police officer called a waitress to take off Zhu Lingling's clothes. He wanted to create an opportunity for them, but they were both drunk and didn't have a chance at all. We didn't do anything last night, right? Zhu Lingling looked at Gao Ran with a crying face. Lord Jesus, I hope nothing happened. Gao Ran put his hands together. What do you mean by this? Seeing Gao Ran's disdainful expression, Zhu Lingling became angry. Calm down. As a senior police officer, I don't think anything happened. First of all, we don't have any hickeys on our bodies, or some unknown liquid. After Gao Ran said this, Zhu Lingling subconsciously looked at herself and Gao Ran. Indeed, there was no trace at all. Secondly, there are no condoms in the trash can or on the ground. Zhu Lingling's face darkened. How could he even think of that? Thirdly, if a normal man drank the way I did last night, he probably wouldn't be able to get hard even if he ate a bottle of Viagra. So, based on the above points, nothing happened between us. Zhu Lingling thought about it and felt that what he said made sense. She didn't feel anything strange in her body. Seeing that Zhu Lingling didn't say anything, Gao Ran added, If you don't believe me, we can go to the hospital. You can check if there is something inside. If there is, I will take responsibility for it. I won't take advantage of you. How are you going to take responsibility? Are you going to marry me? Gao Ran didn't say anything. He hadn't even thought about marriage. It was too sudden. Forget it. No matter what happened last night, we'll just pretend nothing happened. After speaking, Zhu Lingling pulled her clothes and immediately put them on under the covers. The two walked out of the hotel one after the other. Both of them looked very uncomfortable. When they returned to the police station, the two young police officers smiled mysteriously and asked, Boss, did you have fun last night? What do you mean? Gao Ran froze. Last night, you were drunk and called 110 for a designated driver. When we arrived, we saw that you were flirting with girls, so we sent you guys to the hotel and helped you guys take off your clothes. Of course, the hotel waitress took off your partner's clothes. Oh, so you guys are the one who did it. Yeah. You don't have to thank us. Just call us Lay Phone. Very good, Lay Phone. From this month onwards, you two have to work overtime every day until 8 p.m. Otherwise, I'll deduct all of your pay. After speaking, Gao Ran left. Boss, is he biting the hand that feeds him? The two young police officers were instantly dumbfounded. In the morning, on his way to work, Huamin and Zhu Lingling chatted on WeChat. Zhu Lingling was mainly worried about the court. Just then, a black Lamborghini turned the corner and blocked her way. She immediately stepped on the brakes. It was a false alarm. She hung up the phone and was about to yell at the bastard who didn't know how to drive when she saw Suyu walk out in a white shirt. Chapter 338. Before Huamin could say anything, Suyu walked over and opened the car door. Then, he looked at Huamin with a complicated expression and said, Get out. What? I have something to tell you, Suyu said proudly. He was the one who asked her to come, but he still had a sense of superiority, as expected of the crown prince. Hurry up, I have to go to work. Huamin didn't hesitate anymore and got out of the driver's seat. She was wearing a coffee-colored trench coat, dark blue pencil pants, and a pair of black heels. She looked very intellectual. She also gave off a comfortable vibe. You're still in the mood to go to work? Are you a woman with a heart as big as a carrot? Suyu was speechless. How come I'm magnanimous? Huamin smiled. She thought that Suyu's description was very interesting. Don't you have to go to court in a week? Huamin's eyes flickered slightly when she heard this. How did you know? Are you very well informed? Everyone in the industry knows. That bastard Zhou Guangming only knows how to bully women. Suyu had a look of disdain on his face. He could really get rid of a nouveau riche like Zhou Guangming in a matter of minutes. Oh, I see. Huamin's reaction was very indifferent. What do you mean by that? What are you thinking? Suyu asked anxiously. Fire was already burning her eyebrows. Why was this woman still so calm? The eunuch was more anxious than the emperor. What can I think? If they sue me, then I'll go. If I don't go to court, then I'll be punished. If worse comes to worst, I'll just hire a lawyer to defend myself. Huamin said nonchalantly, It's easy for you to say, but it's not that simple. Do you know that the Zhou family spent $3 million to hire the city's #1 lawyer, Lawyer Zhang? That person is very sarcastic. As long as you give him money, He will say anything. He can turn black into white and white into black. Once he convicts you, you will face jail time. I'm not guilty. Why should I go to jail? Hwamin chuckled. This world is not as simple as you think. The roads are slippery when it's dark, and the society is complicated. Money can buy the reversal of right and wrong. Do you understand? So you earnestly preached. I know. I've always known that this world isn't simple. Then what do you plan to do? Different situations call for different actions. Suyu, seeing that Hwamin was so casual, Suyu was also speechless. This was not what he had expected. When girls encountered such situations, wouldn't they panic and not know what to do? Or was she asking him for help? Why was Hwamin so calm? As expected, she wasn't normal. If you need my help, then? Before Suyu could finish, Hwamin immediately interrupted. No, thank you. Are you sure? Suyu raised his eyebrows. I'm very sure, Hwamin replied without hesitation. Why? So you didn't understand. I don't need your help. Why? I'm a hypocritical person. I don't like owing people favors. Don't worry, I'm helping you for free. I won't use this to threaten you. I'm not that kind of person. I know. Then why don't you want me to help you? Just say the word, and I'll make the Zhou family. I really don't need your help. Thank you. It's about time. I have to go to work. After speaking, Hwamin turned around and went back into his car. Then he put the car in gear and drove away. Suyu hit a wall early in the morning, so he was in a bad mood. However, this made him even more curious about Hwamin. He wanted to see how she was going to get through this. Was her mysterious boyfriend going to make a move? What kind of person was he? Even Hua Xiqian was afraid of him. Just as he was thinking, Suyu's phone rang. President Su, something happened at the company. Can you come back? Lisa sounded very anxious. Chapter 339. When Suyu returned to the headquarters of Imperial Star with a gloomy expression, many people were gathered outside Zhao Qingyao's private dressing room. Zhao Qingyao sat on the sofa with bandages wrapped around her leg, and her eyes were red. Her manager was carefully taking care of her. On the other side, Lisa and Mian didn't dare to make a sound. Mian's long hair was draped over her shoulders. She lowered her head and didn't dare to make a sound, as if she had done something wrong. President Su, you're back. When the people in the company saw Suyu return, they all greeted him carefully. President Su, you're finally back. Please come to Qingya. She tripped over a stupid newbie. We have a lot of work to do these days, and Qingya's leg is so swollen. What should we do? Suyu glanced at Zhao Qingya's leg, but his expression didn't change at all. When Zhao Qingya saw Suyu return, she immediately said softly, It's okay. Everyone was too nervous. Mian was just careless. She's a newbie, so she might not know that I'm the only one who can use my dressing room. Mian also explained, Yeah, President Su, I really didn't know that was Qingya's private dressing room. I was caught in a traffic jam today, and I was afraid that I wouldn't make it for the interview. So I found an empty dressing room. Then what happened to her leg? Did you push her? President Su looked at Mian and asked. No, I didn't do it on purpose. We were just talking, and Qingya was about to leave when she slipped. I just want to help her. Yeah, President Su, she was just being nice and came to help me. Unfortunately, the floor was too slippery, so I fell down. It really has nothing to do with Mian. Please don't blame her. Zhao Qingya seemed to be speaking up for Mian, but in reality, she was targeting her. How could President Su not know? As a senior executive of the company, Lisa didn't side with anyone, but she couldn't stand Zhao Qingya being such a bitch. There's no need to make a big fuss over such a small matter. If the media catches wind of it and writes something bad about it, it won't be good. Mian is a newbie, so it's inevitable that she'll make mistakes. I'll definitely teach her well. However, she'll also bear Xiaoya's medical expenses. I'll deduct it from her salary for the next few months. Is that okay with you? Okay, let's do that. Suyu didn't seem to be in the mood. He looked at Lisa tiredly and agreed. Just as Suyu was about to leave, Zhao Qingya stood up and said, President Su, there's something I'd like to talk to you about in private. So you paused and looked back at Zhao Qingya. You could talk to Lisa about business. She'll pass on the message, but don't talk about personal matters. I'm not in the mood to deal with these trivial matters. Since your foot is injured, you should rest well. After speaking, Suyu turned around and left. Zhao Qingya suddenly felt like she had lost face. Once upon a time, she was Suyu's most popular woman. Now, she had to go through his assistant for a private conversation? Was it because Suyu was tired of her and wanted to change her? That shouldn't be the case. Zhao Qingya felt like none of the women around Suyu could compete with her. Even an international best actress like Annie Leong lost to her. How could she lose to her now? Xiaoya, what's going on between you and President Su? Zhao Qingya's manager asked quietly, sensing that something was wrong. Zhao Qingya smiled bitterly. I don't know what's going on either. Evening, Huamin worked overtime for a while. When she got home, Qin Shu had already prepared a heartwarming meal for her. At the dining table, Huamin slowly took out the court summons from her bag and handed it to Qin Shu. Mr. Qin, take a look at this. Chapter 340. Qin Shu unhurriedly took the subpoena and glanced at it, but he didn't say anything. I'm not telling you the truth because I can't clean up this mess. I just think that what you said last time was right. We're husband and wife, so we should tell you everything. As my husband, I think you have a right to know that your wife is being sued, haha. Huamin smiled casually. You did well. Qin Shu stared at Huamin, his eyes as gentle as water. Huh? Huamin didn't understand what Huamin was saying. That's how it should be from now on. If anything happens, tell me immediately. Okay, I got it. Huamin nodded. Don't worry about this. I'll take care of it. Let's see. Qin Shu's expression was very relaxed. After he finished speaking, he threw the subpoena to the side and helped Huamin get a bowl of winter melon soup. Looking at Qin Shu's expression, Huamin knew that she would be fine. Her husband was the boss, so even if she poked a hole in the sky, he would take care of it for her, right? Honey, Huamin wanted to say something, but stopped. Qin Shu looked up at Huamin as if he was waiting for her to continue. This time, it was a little bad. I did it to save Ling Ling, but you had to clean up after me because of the trouble I caused. I feel a little bad, so I'll try my best not to cause so much trouble so that you won't have to worry about me. Huamian spoke like a child who had made a mistake. Her eyes were wide open and her red lips were slightly pouted. She was so cute. If they weren't eating, Qin Shu really wanted to push her down and kiss her. Okay, you've improved. You know how to reflect. Qin Shu nodded. I'm telling the truth, and I heard that the lawyer the Zhou family hired this time is one of the top lawyers in the country. So what? Qin Shu raised his eyebrows in disdain. I know it's nothing, and you don't care, because I know that GK's legal team is top-notch. So you should rest assured. I just want to ask you for a favor. Huamin seemed to be in a difficult position. What is it? Promise me first. Otherwise, I won't tell you. I don't even know what it is. How can I promise you? Qin Shu smiled helplessly. No matter what it is, you have to promise me first, otherwise, I'll never tell you. Sure enough, Huamian used the kill, first then beat tactic again, but this tactic always worked on Qin Shu. Okay, I promise. Seeing that Qin Shu agreed, Huamin took a deep breath and mustered up the courage to say, Can you not attend the court hearing in a week? I don't want to ruin your reputation. Right now, your every move will attract attention from all walks of life, and I don't want anyone to see you in court, especially the Zhou family. I'm afraid that they'll take the opportunity to defame GK and you. Go on. Qin Shu leaned back in his chair and stared at Huamin. Then, you can help me find a lawyer, but don't use GK's legal team. They're too famous, and everyone knows that they're GK's legal team. If you let me use their legal team, then wouldn't we be exposing our relationship without even being asked? If that happens, GK will be affected, and people will say, look, GK's legal team is helping a woman in a lawsuit. But do you think you have a good chance of winning with a lawyer defending you? Qin Shu asked calmly. We'll see if it's a good chance. Although I was adopted, it was self-defense, and it's not a big deal. Plus, Zhou Guangming was just shocked, and it's not that serious. At most, They'll detain me for a while or compensate me. Mian, Qin Shu suddenly called out. Yeah, you're so smart, don't lie to yourself. If you can't convince yourself, how can you convince me? Huamin bit her lip. She didn't think that Qin Shu would see through her so quickly. Chapter 341. Just then, Qin Shu added, You know that since the Zhou family chose to take you to court, it's not as simple as paying money and detaining you. They want you to go to jail. Plus, they went through so much trouble to send you there. They won't stop until you're sentenced to 10 years. Huamin bit down on his lips and didn't say anything. Qin Shu was right. She knew that the Zhou family wouldn't let Huamian go so easily this time. Therefore, if they hired a normal lawyer to defend Huamian, they would lose. If the Zhou family dared to sue Huamian, they must be confident in winning. At a time like this, Huamin wasn't worried about his own safety, but GK's reputation. Was he crazy? But we still can't use GK's lawyer. Huamin was firm in his belief that he wouldn't drag Qin Shu or GK down with him this time. Mian, promise me. Qin Shu, let me be selfish for once. Don't use GK's lawyer, okay? I don't want this to happen. Really, GK's reputation in this city has been unshakable for decades. I won't be able to bear the brunt of the storm just because of a lawsuit. I don't care about that. Qin Shu actually wanted to say that the only person he cared about was her, but he swallowed the words. But I care. Do you know that I feel burdened? Ever since we got together, you've been taking care of me and helping me solve all my problems. Now you want to sacrifice the company's hard-earned reputation? Those are just worldly possessions. But people can't live without these worldly possessions. Money, power, they may be vulgar, but isn't everyone chasing after them? No one wants to be poor for the rest of their lives. So, let's not think of ourselves as so noble. I know you'll help me with Zhou Guangming, but you have to weigh the pros and cons, I promise you. Seeing how stubborn Huamin was, Qin Shu finally compromised. Huamin finally let out a sigh of relief. Thank you for understanding. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you lost the case without a legal team? Qin Shu asked seriously. Huamin smiled slightly. Can you continue to appeal? Qin Shu was speechless. You have so much money. Can you bribe the judge? Qin Shu was speechless. Or you can use force. Kidnap Zhou Guangming and threaten his family to withdraw the lawsuit? Qin Shu was speechless. He wanted to say that his wife was indeed a weirdo. She could even think of these things. It seemed that he thought that she was afraid because of this matter. He was really thinking too much. How did she look like she was afraid? Haha, I was just joking. Did you really take it seriously? Huamin couldn't help laughing when he saw Qin Shu's tangled expression. However, Qin Shu couldn't bring himself to smile. After dinner, as usual, Huamin lay on Qin Shu's lap and watched TV. Qin Shu, on the other hand, put down all of his work and watched boring TV with her. Honey, yeah? Don't be nervous. Haha, I mean, if I lose the lawsuit and go to jail, will you miss me? I'll send you a bento box. Huamin felt like her husband was being sarcastic. Are you really my husband? Didn't you give me a free gift when I bought detergent? Qin Shu didn't say anything. He lowered his head and lovingly pinched Huamin's fair face. Hey, I'm serious. Mr. Qin, won't you miss me a lot? Huamin asked coquettishly. Qin Shu sighed. He stroked her hair and said, If you're going to jail, I'll get you out even if I have to spend all my money. Then, Huamin thought he was going to say something touching, but to her surprise, he said, Then go home, and I'll teach you a lesson. Ahem, I'm going to jail, and you still want to teach me a lesson? Do you have a conscience? You don't care about anything and went to jail. You even threatened me not to use my legal team. Do you have a conscience? That's why I said we're the same. Let's not talk about each other. Qin Shu's lips curled up. After chatting for a while, Huamian began to feel sleepy, and she drifted off to sleep. Qin Shu lowered his head and lovingly kissed her on the forehead. Don't be afraid. With me here, no one can hurt you. His voice was like a magic spell. Chapter 342. A week passed in the blink of an eye, and Huamin took a day off from Southside to prepare for court. The court officially started at 9 a.m., and Huamin woke up at 7:30 a.m. He took a shower and washed his hair. Finally, he picked out a small red suit, black pencil pants, and a black casual shirt from the wardrobe. When black and red matched, it gave people a sense of elegance. Most importantly, Huamin thought that red was a good sign, and she hoped that today would be a peaceful day. Her hair was no longer draped over her shoulders, and she put on light makeup, looking like a white-collar beauty. When she went downstairs for breakfast, Chin Chu saw her, and his eyes flashed with slight surprise. He always knew that his Mian had a great foundation, and once she put on makeup, she wouldn't lose to those international superstars. "You're in a good mood today?" "Of course, I can't lose face first. I heard that wearing red is a good sign, so I hope that today will be a smooth day." Huamin slowly sipped on a glass of milk. "I will. Don't go to court today, okay?" "I know. What about the lawyer?" "I found a lawyer for you. He'll be there on time. He's not from GK, so don't worry," Chin Chu added. "Thank you, Mr. Chin." Huamin smiled sweetly. She was very satisfied with Chin Chu's arrangements. Huamin was afraid that Chin Chu would go, because there would be a lot of people in court, and she was afraid that people would gossip about Chin Chu. People were strange, and Huamin was never afraid of people gossiping about her, no matter how unpleasant it was. However, she couldn't stand it if someone was slandering Chin Chu. It was as if she was wronged. Plus, she didn't want Chin Chu to see her in such a sad state, because this time, she had no chance of winning. If Chin Chu didn't intervene, who knew what would have happened? Huamin believed that good people would be rewarded. Although she wasn't a pervert, she was dedicated and had saved many people. This time, Zhou Guangming attempted to rape her, drugged Lingling, and even tried to molest her. If she ended up in jail because of this, then there would be no justice in the world. After breakfast, as usual, the two of them left the house. Chin Chu didn't even tell her what to do, but that was good, because it would lessen her psychological burden. It's not of a murder case, of the eyes of Aziz's a murder case. However, so you also said that the Zhous had a lot of connections, so it seemed like today was going to be a dangerous day. At the entrance of the Provincial People's Court, Huamin saw the Zhou's family. Zhou Guangming was surrounded by 7 or 8 people, like stars surrounding the moon. As they walked in, when he saw Huamin, he turned his head and pretended not to see her. Huamin thought that he hated her to the core, but that wasn't the case. Zhou Guangming was still traumatized when he saw Huamin. Zhou Guangming's mother, on the other hand, said aggressively, "Little bitch, just wait and see how we deal with you. You're already so old. You should watch your mouth. After all, you only have one son." Huamin's words made Zhou Guangming's mother's expression change. She didn't say anything else and walked in. Behind her was a skinny man in his 30s. He had slanted eyebrows and a crying face. However, looking at his suit and leather shoes and carrying a professional briefcase, he should be the lawyer hired by the Zhou family, right? Huamin was just about to walk in when she heard someone call her name. "Huamin!" Chapter 343. Huamin turned around and saw that it was Gao Ran. Moreover, he came with Zhu Lingling. This was unprecedented. "Why are you two here together? Are you two getting back together?" Huamin teased. "What do you mean get back together? We didn't even start, okay? Also, aren't you supposed to be in a bad mood today? Why don't I see a trace of worry on your face?" Gao Ran asked. "I have to face what's going to happen. No matter if I laugh or cry, I can't change the outcome. What's going to happen will happen. I won't stop coming just because I'm in a bad mood, right?" "Ayaya, what you say always makes sense. Does Chin Chu think you're a treasure? I think you're more of a philosopher." "Stop talking nonsense. Let's get down to business," Zhu Lingling said as she pushed Gao Ran. Zhu Lingling originally didn't plan on looking for Gao Ran, but she realized that if it wasn't for Gao Ran, she wouldn't have been able to get in. Because there were very few people attending this time, the provincial high school was very strict. Zhu Lingling knew that today was the day of the trial, so she comforted Huamin for a long time last night. Today, She woke up early to attend. Don't be nervous. Say whatever you want to say. Don't get too worked up. Otherwise, the judge will have a bad impression of you. You have to be elegant from beginning to end. Anyways, you'll be fine. Gao Ren knew Qin Chu too well. He loved his wife like she was his life. He wouldn't let anything happen to Huamin. She came to attend because she wanted to cheer for Huamin. She didn't want to feel burdened. Where's Qin Chu? Zhu Lingling looked around and didn't see a trace of Qin Chu. She was curious. He didn't come. He went to work. What? He went to work? His wife was sued, and he still has the heart to go to work? Is that okay? As soon as she heard that Qin Chu didn't come, Zhu Lingling exploded and stomped her feet in anger. Calm down, big sister. I was the one who didn't allow him to come. Qin Chu's identity is too special. If he comes, he will attract attention. If the Zhou clan uses this topic to stir up public opinion, it won't be good. Gao Ran tapped Zhu Lingling's head and said, Look at Huamin's brain and look at yours. The difference is really huge. What I say back then? Huamin should have fox and monkey genes, while yours is 120% pig and donkey genes. Fuck you. Zhu Lingling was so angry that she stomped on Gao Ran's foot. I'm serious. Why don't you use your brain and think about it? Can Qin Chu come? If he comes, things will get worse. How could he ask such a brainless question? Gao Ran always knew that Zhu Lingling was a simple-minded person. On the other hand, Huamin wasn't a scheming person. He could only say that Huamin had a high IQ and EQ. He was more holistic and watertight. Therefore, when it came to dealing with people, Gao Ran admired Huamin's way of doing things. It's almost time. Let's go in, Huamin said as he looked at the time on his phone. Then, the three of them walked into the courtroom. Their court session was held in Hall 1. The hall wasn't big, but it was very solemn. Huamin walked to the defendant's stand and glanced at her lawyer's seat. It was still empty. He wondered what kind of person Qin Chu arranged to defend her. Just as he was thinking, the sound of footsteps suddenly attracted everyone's attention. Faint gasps of surprise could be heard from the crowd. The moment he saw Su Yu, Zhou Guangming was the first to lose his cool. He seemed to be a little excited. President Su, why are you here? I'm so flattered. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? I could have asked my driver to pick you up. Chapter 344. When Zhou Guangming saw that Su Yu was here, he was extremely excited. He thought that Su Yu was here to cheer him on, but in reality, that wasn't the case. Su Yu didn't say anything. He walked to the first row and sat down. Next to him was Wei Liao, who was wearing a coffee-colored jacket. Huamin glanced at Su Yu with a complicated look in her eyes. She wasn't a narcissistic person and didn't think that she was very attractive, but she was sure of one thing. Su Yu definitely didn't come for Zhou Guangming. When Huamin looked over, Su Yu looked back at her. His gaze was complicated, but she couldn't tell what he was thinking. Ayaya, look at you. You could have just settled it. Why did you have to come and listen? Wei Liao was worried for Su Yu. He felt that this wasn't the Su family style at all. Just then, the crowd became slightly restless again. Huamin was surprised to see Hua Xiqian in a dark purple shirt. He had one hand in his pocket as he slowly walked up to the audience. Oh, young Master Hua? What coincidence. Wei Liao was very surprised to see Hua Xiqian. Yeah, what a coincidence. You guys are here too? Hua Xiqian smiled. He wasn't early or late, but his timing was just right. When Huamin saw Hua Xiqian, her expression was complicated. All these years, whenever something happened to her, Hua Xiqian would appear like a ghost. She didn't understand. Was he a sticky candy? Why is Hua Xiqian here too? Zhu Lingling lowered her voice and asked. How would I know? But if Qin Chu knew that he was here, he would be very upset. Gao Ran always knew that Qin Chu didn't like Hua Xiqian. It wasn't just because of his complicated feelings toward Huamin. It was because Hua Xiqian was too complicated, and sometimes he was a bit shady. It seems like you're very worried about your sister. So you glanced at Hua Xiqian beside him and said in a deep tone, We have the same goal. Hua Xiqian smiled. His expression relaxed. Just then, Huamin looked over. Hua Xiqian raised his hand and smiled at Hua Mian. Good luck, little sister Mian. For some reason, Suyu got goosebumps when he heard Huasiqian call Huamian little sister. In short, he was very unhappy. Don't worry, she'll be fine, Suyu said faintly. I'm curious, how did you allow things to escalate to this point? If I remember correctly, you're chasing after my little sister, right? Young Master Su, you've always been a big shot. How could you allow your sweetheart to be bullied? Huasiqian teased. I wanted to help, but she had to let me go. Huami, that woman, she's the #1 weirdo in history. No one before and no one after her. Suyu sighed. If Huamin had just nodded that day, he would have been able to suppress the matter in a matter of minutes, and they wouldn't have to go to court. Unfortunately, Huamian didn't appreciate his kindness and even specifically asked him not to intervene. If he interfered, he would be asking for trouble. Okay, maybe this is my little sister's charm. Huasiqian and Suyu chatted idly. Just then, the judge and jury walked in one after another. Everyone, please be quiet. I now announce both sides' lawyers, the judge said with a serious expression. Zhou Guangming's lawyer, Zhang Xiaochong, was the first to enter. No one was surprised by him, because the Zhou family had already spent millions to hire Zhang Xiaochong to represent them. However, when Huamin's lawyer walked in, the entire room fell silent. Huasiqian and Gao Ren both thought it would be GK's legal team, but it wasn't. When an old man with white hair walked out, Su Yu and the others' expressions all changed. Wei Liao couldn't stay calm and cursed. What the fuck? Am I seeing things? Who is that guy? Su Yu and Huasiqian didn't say anything, but they were all shocked. Gao Ran was also dumbfounded. Oh my god, Qin Chu is such a psycho. I can't believe they invited him. Chapter 345. Who is it? Why are you making such a big fuss? Everyone seemed surprised. Zhu Lingling didn't understand. She looked carefully and didn't recognize Huamin's lawyer. Wasn't he just an ordinary-looking old man with white hair? Was someone like him really able to help Huamin turn the tables and win against the Zhou family? However, when Zhu Lingling saw that Gao Ran and the others were shocked, she realized that something wasn't right. Gao Ran explained with a serious face, Dennis Wu, 57 years old, Chinese-American, Ph.D., from Yale Law School, a professor specially hired by the U.S. FBI and a lawyer hired by the U.S. Interpol. He once took on the case of a certain U.S. Secretary of State's assistant, as well as the case of Tony Marshall, the highly intelligent criminal mastermind who shocked the world. He successfully sent the cunning criminal to prison and was crowned as the greatest lawyer in Chinese history. After hearing Gao Ran's admiring introduction, Zhu Lingling was completely dumbfounded. So such a big shot came here to defend Huamin. That should be it. I knew that even if Qin Shu wasn't here, the court would still be shocked. Gao Ran knew Qin Shu well, so he wasn't worried that something would happen to Huamin. Compared to the others' shock, Huamin was quite calm. She didn't even know who Dennis Wu was, but she had seen him on TV and in magazines. So, is that really Dennis Wu? Wei Liao was still in disbelief. It's a bit unexpected, so you couldn't help but feel emotional. He had only met Dennis Wu once when he was studying in the U.S. It was at the time when he gave a speech in their local city. The Americans respected this Chinese old man very much. Now that he was able to meet Hua Min's lawyer, Suyu suddenly realized that Huasiqian hadn't been bragging before. The person behind Hua Min was indeed very powerful. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to invite Dennis Wu. One had to know that this wasn't someone who could be hired with money and authority. All right, I admit that I was shocked too, Huasiqian muttered to himself. He knew that Qin Shu would not let Huamin be wronged, but he did not expect that he would invite Dennis Wu. Was he making a big fuss over nothing? The Zhou family did not know who Dennis Wu was, so they did not react. On the other hand, their lawyer Zhang Xiaochong's face turned green. When he was studying in the United States, his mentor was said to be Dennis Wu's student. In other words, Dennis Wu was his private advisor. He instantly felt a great pressure on him. He could already predict the outcome of the lawsuit against the private advisor. The process was needless to say. Mrs. Zhou, let's withdraw the lawsuit. Don't fight anymore. Lawyer Zhang, what's wrong? Mrs. Zhou looked confused. We can't win. Lawyer Zhang looked dispirited. How is that possible? Didn't you just say that we had victory in our hands? Plus, we have important evidence. If we don't fight, then all our preparation would have been for nothing. Plus, we spent so much money to hire you. Mrs. Zhou was clearly annoyed. I can return the money to you without taking a single cent. It doesn't matter how much evidence you have. Plus, from what I know, the truth is that your son is at fault. The defendant, Mrs. Hua, acted in self-defense, right? Hey, I say, why are you siding with an outsider? Whose side are you on exactly? What are you talking about? Mrs. Zhou was clearly unhappy with Lawyer Zhang's words. Chapter 346. Mrs. Zhou, there's no way we can fight this case. The other party's lawyer is my private advisor, do you understand? He's the teacher of my teacher in the States. What? Mrs. Zhou was no longer calm. Dennis Wu is very good. There's no need to fight. Let's just admit defeat. Otherwise, it would be a waste of time. Plus, if the other party can hire someone like Dennis Wu, they must have a powerful background. It's best if you don't mess with them, Mr. Zhang kindly warned. Stop trying to scare us. We've already investigated her thoroughly. She's just a head nurse at a hospital. She doesn't have much of background. Other than being the illegitimate daughter of the Hua family, there's nothing suspicious about her. Also, I heard that she's already cut ties with the Hua family. The Hua family won't care about her. We didn't pay you to listen to nonsense. Hurry up and fight this lawsuit for us, or else we won't let this go. Mrs. Zhou insisted and even threatened Zhang Xiaochang. Your Honor, I'm ready. Can we begin? Dennis Wu spoke in fluent Mandarin. He was elegant, gentle, and polite. Huamin looked at Dennis Wu gratefully. Thank you for your help, uncle. In the 57 years of Dennis Wu's life, he was the calmest defendant he had ever seen. He even called him uncle warmly. How cute. He nodded slightly at Huamin to show that he understood. On the other hand, Zhang Xiaochang was already sweating profusely. If he fought this case, even though he knew he was going to lose, it might affect his future career as a lawyer. As a lawyer, the higher the winning rate, the more valuable he was. He had been in the industry for 7 or 8 years and had never lost a single case. Especially in the past few years, he had been doing very well. If he lost today, it would be difficult for him to continue in the industry. Plus, his opponent this time was his private advisor. If his teacher found out, it would be troublesome. No matter how he looked at it, Mr. Zhang didn't want to fight this case. Unfortunately, Mrs. Zhou refused to give up. Her tone was aggressive, so Zhang Xiaochang had no choice but to bite the bullet. Next, please ask your questions, the judge announced. Zhang Xiaochang resisted the pressure and slowly walked up to Huamin. He took a deep breath and asked, Ms. Hua, I have a few questions for you. Please consider them carefully before you answer. Okay, Huamin's voice was crisp and pleasant, causing ripples in Su Yu's heart. Excuse me, where were you on September 6th at 11:20 p.m.? At Seductive Fox nightclub. With whom? What did you do? To pick up my friend, Miss Zhu Lingling. She's drunk. What happened next? Lawyer Zhang asked. Huamin paused for a moment and said slowly, I saw Lingling being held in Zhou Guangming's arms. She didn't respond when I called out to her. She was already unconscious, so I suspected that she had been drugged. Excuse me, Zhu Lingling might have been drunk. You can't accuse my client of drugging her. That's not fair. At this moment, Dennis Wu immediately raised his hand. I object. If the other party's lawyer interrupted my client, it would make her recollections of that night deviate from what she remembered. This could lead to mistakes in her narration of the events. This is an invisible form of inducement. Objection sustained. Plaintiff's lawyer, please wait for the defendant to finish his statement before continuing to ask questions. Zhang Xiaochang's expression changed slightly, and the pressure in his heart increased once again. Dennis Wu looked at Huamin kindly. Please continue. Lingling is a good drinker, so she would never pass out no matter how much she drinks. Plus, she was there with her boyfriend that night. Why was she lying in Zhou Guangming's arms with her clothes disheveled? I saw Zhou Guangming touching her, so I angrily went up to stop him. Then, we got into an argument. Chapter 347. But as far as I know, my client said that he didn't do anything to Zhu Lingling. All he did was have a drink with her. Ms. Hua, you are purely framing me and trying to excuse yourself from stabbing my client with the bottle. I'm not framing you. It's the truth, Huamin argued. What truth? The truth that you stabbed my client? Huamin was speechless. It felt terrible to be forced into a corner by a lawyer like this. Huamin knew that she couldn't say everything, and she couldn't say too much either. If she denied it, the opposing lawyer would take advantage of the loopholes in her words. The plaintiff's lawyer has finished his questioning. It's the defendant's turn. Dennis Wu didn't even walk off the stage. Instead, he said directly to the judge, I give up on questioning the defendant because I don't think he would be telling the truth even if he did. Therefore, I would like to make a statement. Defendant's lawyer, please make your statement. The judge extended his hand to approve. According to the information in my hands, my client, Ms. Huamin, has an excellent reputation and character. She has disregarded the rules and regulations twice to save someone and won the appreciation of her superiors. A person like her wouldn't stab someone who has nothing to do with her for no reason. Everything happens for a reason, so I believe that the defendant must have done something that provoked my client. My client must have done something to protect herself. After all, there were more than 20 people present at the scene, and they were all friends of the defendant. Other than the drunk Miss Zhu Lingling, my client was all alone. Under these circumstances, the fact that the plaintiff was injured can only mean that he forced my client into a corner. In the end, my conclusion is that the plaintiff is hiding something from me and is trying to push all the blame onto my client. I object. Everything the opposing lawyer said is only speculation. It's not the truth, so you can't draw a conclusion. Zhang Xiaochang was a little agitated. Dennis Wu smiled. My conclusion is my personal one. It's only for the judge and jury to use as a reference. You don't have to be nervous. Overruled. Thinking that Dennis Wu's argument was reasonable, the judge directly rejected Zhang Xiaochang's argument. Seeing how obvious the situation was, Wei Liao took out a piece of chewing gum and said, the Zhou family is going to make a fool of themselves today. They shot themselves in the foot. What's the saying again? If you don't ask for it, you won't die. Everything was going well, but you fucking chose to sue a little girl. Now that you've seen Dennis Wu, are you stupid? The Zhou family doesn't seem to know Dennis Wu, Suyu said calmly. It's normal that they don't know each other. They're nouveau riche. What else do they have in their eyes other than money? But even if their heads were slanted, did Zhang Xiaochang's head also grow to his buttocks? As a well-known lawyer in the country, it's impossible that he doesn't know his own private advisor, right? Zhang Xiaochang probably wants to die right now. Maybe he was too nervous, so there were a lot of loopholes. Dennis Wu easily caught on to them. There's no suspense in this lawsuit anymore. We can book a restaurant in advance and have lunch right away, Hua Xiqin laughed. But I'm curious, who hired Hua Xiqin's lawyer? Don't tell me it was you? Wei Liao looked at Hua Xiqin and chuckled. I'm not that capable. Dennis Wu isn't someone that can be hired with money. Why don't you ask young Master Su if it was him? It wasn't him. It's not his style to hire a lawyer. If he were to do it, the Zhou family would probably go bankrupt in 3 days. They wouldn't be in the mood to go to court. The Su family style has always been to eliminate the source of trouble. Haha, Wei Liao joked. Suyu remained silent. Even though he already knew that Huamin would be fine, he still couldn't bring himself to laugh. He had a vague feeling that if he wanted to pursue Huamin, he would have to get past Huamin's powerful boyfriend. And her boyfriend, someone who could hire Dennis Wu, was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Zhang Xiaochang saw that his disadvantage was becoming more and more obvious. He was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. He said anxiously, Your Honor, we need to provide an important video. Chapter 348. Granted. After the judge nodded in agreement, Zhang Xiaochang took a USB from his assistant. Then, he handed it to the jury. The jury put it on the computer and played it on the big screen. The horrifying scene from that night replayed itself on the screen. Huamin was holding Zhou Guangming hostage with a broken beer bottle pressed against Zhou Guangming's throat. Big Brother Zhou. Zhou Guangming's subordinates realized what was going on and rushed towards Huamin. "Don't come over, or else he's dead." Huamin pushed the beer bottle against Zhou Guangming's neck. The sharp glass immediately pierced through the skin on Zhou Guangming's neck, causing him to wail in pain. It hurts. Don't come over, go back." Crack. That was all it took to stop the movie. Zhang Xiaochang cleared his throat and said, "That night, it was my client's birthday, and he was drinking with so many friends." However, after the defendant came, she turned the scene upside down. Without saying a word, she actually used violence against my client. Based on the analysis of the weapon in her hand, the defendant looked like she wanted to kill my client. I wrongly concluded that the defendant intended to murder him. Your Honor, I object. My client, Ms. Huamin, and Zhou Guangming did not know each other, nor did they have any relationship. There is no reason for her to commit premeditated murder. The term plaintiff is misplaced. Sustained. Your Honor, I object. I was only stating my conjecture. The defendant's lawyer also made his own conjecture and gave the jury a suggestion. If he can do it, why can't I? Zhang Xiaochang was obviously not convinced. Even though he was Zhou Guangming's private advisor, he shouldn't bully people like this. Dennis Wu laughed and replied, "Even though I was only making a conjecture, it was only a guess of what happened. You, on the other hand, have inferred that my client committed premeditated murder without any evidence. This is intentional slander and framing." Plaintiff's lawyer, please watch your words. The judge reminded him again. Zhang Xiaochang's expression became uglier and uglier. As expected of his private advisor, he was indeed meticulous. "Mom, why do I feel like this lawyer Zhang is a coward? Is he reliable or not?" Zhou Guanghui, the youngest daughter of the Zhou family, asked anxiously. "Who knows? Isn't he one of the top lawyers in the country? I hope our money doesn't go to waste, or else I won't forgive him." Mrs. Zhou said fiercely, "Okay, I was wrong. Let me correct you. I suspect that the defendant, Madame Huamin, wanted to kill my client. After watching this video, I believe that everyone will have their own judgment." Your Honor, what a coincidence. We also have this video, but we are more comprehensive than the one provided by the plaintiff. Please watch the entire video before coming to a conclusion. Present it. The judge nodded. Zhang Xiaochang's face immediately changed. He walked over and whispered to Mrs. Zhou, "Didn't you say that the complete video has been erased? Why do they still have it? That can't be. We spent a lot of money to hire a hacker to hack into Seductive Fox's surveillance and steal this video. Then, we erased the original version. This can't be wrong, right?" Mrs. Zhou was dumbfounded. Her subordinates had always been reliable, so they shouldn't have made such a fatal mistake. Zhou Guanghui also had a look of disdain on her face. "My brother's going to lose for sure with your cowardly excuses. How could a lawyer like you lose to an old man? You don't live up to your reputation." "Miss Zhou, that's not an ordinary old man. Please go to Google and search for Dennis Wu." "Thank you. Lawyer Zhang, what should we do now?" Mrs. Zhou was a little flustered. "Let's wait and see. If it's true, then we're going to lose for sure." Lawyer Zhang's face was ashen. Chapter 349. Sure enough, the big screen showed the moment Huamin entered the room until he walked out. The entire process took less than 15 minutes, but the scene was thrilling. Didn't you say that there was no more evidence?" Zhou Guangming was also dumbfounded. Dennis Wu smiled slightly. "This is the complete video. If you suspect that we tampered with the video, you could do a forensic analysis. The entire process shows that my client was forced to do what she did to protect herself. In that situation, there were so many men and she was a girl. If she didn't use such a method, she might have been violated. Therefore, I believe that she acted in self-defense." Court is adjourned for 15 minutes. The court will resume in 15 minutes. After the judge made the announcement, everyone immediately relaxed. Zhu Lingling immediately walked over and handed Huamin a bottle of water. Drink some water to calm yourself down. Calm down? I'm very calm. Huamin chuckled. Looks like we're definitely going to win. Girl, do you know who your husband hired? That uncle? I don't know him. Who is he? Huamin took a sip of water while sneaking glances at the old man who was organizing documents not far away. Uncle? Buffed. Do you think he's just an ordinary uncle? Zhu Lingling was speechless. Gao Ran smiled but didn't say anything. What are you two doing? What's with the look in your eyes? Who is he? Why are you acting so mysterious? Huamin thought that Qin Shu just hired a slightly more experienced lawyer. He didn't think that there was anything else to it. Zhu Lingling encouraged Gao Ran to repeat the introduction that he gave to Dennis Wu. Huamin froze on the spot. So, this friendly-looking uncle is really the god-level Chinese lawyer, Dennis Wu? Huamin was dumbfounded. Yup. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling both nodded. Oh my god. Huamin was so shocked that he didn't know how to describe his feelings. Then, it must be very expensive to ask him to help me with a lawsuit, right? Huamin asked with a pained expression. Gao Ran looked at her helplessly. Look at you. Your husband has money. What are you afraid of? Besides, a lawyer like Dennis Wu is not someone who can be hired with money. It only shows that your husband is too powerful. Okay, I was shocked too. I was wondering why he agreed to not let GK's legal team so easily. It turns out that he hired someone even more important, Huamin said as he bit his lip. That's why, with a husband like Qin Shu, you can really sit back and relax. You can even walk sideways. I'm not a crab. Why should I walk sideways? Huamin chuckled. During this time, Gao Ran secretly took a photo of Dennis Wu and sent it to Qin Shu on WeChat. Originally, Gao Ran didn't have Qin Shu's WeChat because Qin Shu was a guy who valued women over friends. Other than his wife, he never added anyone else. During the last gathering, Gao Ran secretly scanned the QR code when Qin Shu went to the bathroom. Later, Qin Shu found out and wanted to blacklist him, but Huamin put in a few good words for him. Therefore, Gao Ran thought that it was already very impressive that he could appear on Qin Shu's WeChat list. After all, aside from Huamin, Qin Shu only had Gao Ran on WeChat. Qin Shu didn't know what Gao Ran meant when he saw the photo, so he replied with a question mark. Such a cold reply was completely in line with Mr. Qin's arrogant personality. Chapter 350. Bro, you're amazing. You even managed to hire Dennis Wu. I give you 99 out of 100 for showing off. I'm afraid you'll get too cocky, Gao Ran joked. Qin Shu was speechless. How's it going over there? A few seconds later, Qin Shu asked. Everything's going well. Didn't you already know the result? Gao Ran thought that Qin Shu was asking nonsense. I asked about Mion. How's she doing? Qin Shu asked again. Oh, your wife? She was scared out of her wits and had a nervous breakdown. She even cried in court after being questioned by the opposing lawyer. She's so pitiful. I'll give you one more chance. Tell me the truth. Qin Shu knew that Gao Ran's words couldn't be any more fake. Fine. I'll tell you. Your wife is doing great. She doesn't even know who Dennis Wu is and even called him an uncle. Qin Shu saw Gao Ran's reply and could imagine how Huamin was feeling. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. When are you coming over? I'll be there later. After replying, Qin Shu stopped replying. Seeing that it was almost time for the court session, Huasiqian walked over with a smile. Little sister Mion, good luck. Huamin ignored him and walked past her. Not far away, Su Yu sat quietly. Wei Liao handed him a bottle of water. Let's go. The result is obvious. There's no suspense. What's the rush? Let's wait and see. Su Yu didn't seem to be in a hurry to leave, even though he already knew the result. He suddenly wanted to stay with her until the end of the trial. He didn't want her to stand here alone. Even if she didn't care about his actions, he didn't care. So he was a little surprised. When did he become such a big figure? It didn't seem like him at all. After a 15-minute break, the court finally resumed. Now, let's announce the results of this court. The judge put on his glasses and stood up slowly, holding the materials he was reading out. Everyone held their breaths and waited for the result. This was the provincial high court. Once the ruling was made, it would have a strong legal effect. If the parties involved were not satisfied, they would have to go to the Supreme People's Court in Jingdu. Otherwise, other courts would have no right to deal with the matter. After the evidence submitted by both parties in their arguments, the jury has made the following decision. Mr. Zhou Guangming's accusation against Ms. Huamin for intentional assault is not established. Ms. Huamin's counterattack was deemed as self-defense. What fucking self-defense? Shouldn't it be excessive self-defense? Zhou Guangming was furious. He even cursed at the judge. Lawyer Zhang immediately stopped him. Mr. Zhou, please calm down. How can I be so fucking calm? If this woman is acquitted, then all the suffering I've suffered all this time would have been for nothing. Zhou Guangming was obviously not convinced. The judge glanced at Zhou Guangming and said, "If you don't agree with the court's decision, you can appeal to the Supreme People's Court in the capital." Fuck you, what kind of ruling is this? Are you all fucking idiots? Zhou Guangming cursed. I'm sorry, Your Honor. My client is too agitated. Please forgive him. Lawyer Zhang immediately tried to smooth things over. Zhou Guangming's family obviously didn't get the result they wanted, so they were cursing. Just when everyone thought the case was over, Dennis Wu raised his hand and said in a serious tone, "Your Honor, this case is not over. Although Zhou Guangming's lawsuit against my client has ended, we still want to counter-appeal against Mr. Zhou Guangming. He falsely accused my client and slandered her reputation. At the same time, he imprisoned her in Miss Zhu Lingling, attempted rape, and other charges. Please accept these charges as well." After Dennis Wu finished speaking, the entire court went into an uproar. Chapter 351. The judge had never encountered a counter-appeal like this before, so he didn't know how to deal with it. Because this case is closely related to the previous one, I request that we accept this case together with both parties present, Dennis Wu requested. In the end, the judge and the jury deliberated for a few minutes before they agreed to continue the trial. Zhou Guangming was dumbfounded. Zhang Xiaochong was no longer as arrogant as he usually was. He looked like a complete idiot. In the face of Dennis Wu's questions and evidence, Zhou Guangming's words were incoherent, and he could not convey his meaning. He was full of lies, full of loopholes, and had no persuasive power at all. Huamin thought she was fine, but she didn't expect Dennis Wu to turn around and sue her. So, she was truly shocked, but she thought that Qin Chu might have told him to do this. After all, Qin Chu always hated evil. Zhou Guangming tried to frame him, but he failed, so how could Qin Chu let him off the hook so easily? At first, everyone was confused as to why Dennis Wu was hired to handle such an easy case. Since there was video evidence, it didn't matter which lawyer they hired, right? Now, they seemed to understand that Dennis Wu was going to send Zhou Guangming to prison. Dennis Wu knew how to destroy a person's psychological defenses. Zhou Guangming was in the wrong to begin with. Plus, he wasn't very smart, so after being tricked by Dennis Wu, he confessed everything. In the end, Zhang Xiaochong's face turned dark. He didn't expect things to turn out this way. His advisor was ruthless, and he knew the truth as soon as he made a move. In the end, when the judge sentenced Zhou Guangming to 7 years and 5 months in prison for a series of crimes, including framing, illegal confinement, and attempted rape, the Zhou family was completely dumbfounded. My son." Mrs. Zhou's eyes widened and she fainted. Mom, wake up." Zhou Guanghui hugged Mrs. Zhou and shook her. In the end, Zhou Guangming was detained and taken away, while Mrs. Zhou was taken away by ambulance. The scene was a mess. Huamin slowly walked down from the defendant's stand and bowed at Dennis Wu. "Thank you, Uncle Wu. No need. Qin Chu asked me to do this. I won't let him down." Dennis Wu smiled and packed his briefcase. "Uncle, can I treat you to a meal?" Huamin invited him to express his gratitude. "No, I have to go to the airport now. I'll transfer to Jingdu and then fly straight to America. There's still a difficult case there." Dennis Wu declined Hua means kindness and quietly left the court with his foreign assistant. Girl, it's finally all right. That's great. Also, Zhou Guangming was sentenced to 7 years just like that. I didn't even hear what happened. Dennis Wu is so awesome, Zhu Lingling said happily. Huamin smiled. Yeah, he's been in this industry for many years. It's easy for him to handle such a small case. Where are we going now? Zhu Lingling asked. Before Huamin could say anything, Gao Ran said, We're going to mess with Qin Shu and ask him to treat us to a big meal. As they spoke, the few of them walked out. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling walked in front while bickering. Huamin slowly walked behind them. At this time, Suyu suddenly caught up with them. Congratulations. Thank you. Huamin smiled at Suyu. Seeing Huamin's gentle smile, Suyu felt his heartbeat change. He was a little nervous. To celebrate your safety, I'll treat you to a meal. It's okay. I already made plans with my friends. I appreciate your kindness, and thank you for coming. Huamin thanked Suyu from the bottom of his heart. When the group arrived at the entrance, a Maybach was already waiting for them. Qin Shu walked out of the car. He was dressed in a mysterious black suit, and his every movement exuded the aura of a king. He walked towards Huamin, gently took her hand, and kissed it. Thank you for your hard work. When Suyu saw this scene, his mind went blank. Huamin's boyfriend was Qin Shu, GK Corporation's rising star. He had always heard of this man, read about him in magazines, and watched him on TV, but had never interacted with him. What do you think? Are you surprised? Hua Xiqian walked out and asked Suyu with a smile. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.